Igere Nee Chitab Kalenjin ibwatene. Imwoe Nee Chitab Kalenjin ilele nenye. Igere Nee Chitab Kalenjin ibwatene. Imwoe Nee Chitab Kalenjin ilele nenye. Ugasiso Chitab Kalenjin unengengi. Botingengi onime mwawe yenaidul. Kongo mengen kwani meteba tige mwawe. Igere Nee Chitab Kalenjin ibwatenenye. Igere Nee Chitab Kalenjin ibwatene. Imwoe Nee Chitab Kalenjin ilele nenye.
Karibuni biik chok tugul ing kebeberwek tugul chomi akebwatwech The Legend nebo Kalenjin Gospel Artist notok Daktari Joel Kimeta kole Igere Nee Chitab Kalenjin ibwatine. Kakeitu ing betutab rani ak a very special episode number 58 ne chang biik cheisubi ako chang biik chekoigen akobo episode ni. Ameche kityo aib nafas ne inegei atach biik tugul akot kiwechi kongoi ing fans chekiotune in ing episode nekisirto episode 57 nekikimi kebeberta nebo county nebo Nandi nekikitinye notok ko Professor Ishmael Rono nekikwai boisionik chechang ako chang biik through our program ako kimwa kole kitabushek ako balozi ak the team aripoteni ale chang kitabushek chetesetai kwaldoi Professor Nicodemus Rono ngot kimi this program ako kikiaror ile ialchini kitabut Professor uye kaikai aiku notok under the courtesy of our program. Amite awech kongoi ing kasubik chok tugul cheisubech ing takwek cheterchin ale ing betutab rani kegroseni kidogo akiboisie lugait nebo Kiswahili ak Kiingereza amu kitinye tot eng betut age very special eng betutab rani. So wasikilizaji wetu wanaotufuatilia katika upande wa Facebook, katika upande wa YouTube, karibuni kwa hii program episode number 58 tukiwa na mgeni mkubwa ambaye ameweza kuchongea ama kufika katika studio yetu ya Igere Nee Chitab Kalenjin. Wakeni karibuni na kila mmoja utuambie mahali ulipo jioni ya leo, if you are in Kenya, if you are in Australia, if you are in US, if you are in anywhere in this world, you are highly welcome to our program so that we get an opportunity to learn from a very special guest. We are so grateful as a team. We recognize our sponsor, who is none other than George Washuri and the team of Optiven for incredible work that they are doing in Nairobi. George Washuri, our CEO, Asante Sana, and Dori Chelagat. If you need anything, if you need a property in Kenya, kindly use Optiven. It is in one of the recognized companies in Kenya. So Asante Sana, Optiven, we will still share more about Optiven as we progress. We remind you about the Tamu Life, one of the companies who sponsors our program. So before we start, I will like to request our engineer to share what we are doing in Kericho. The work is in progress. As this year, we promised that we need to deliver to have a studio for our legend. Mamao, you saw the musician who sang there. He has been singing for more than 40 years, and we consider as a team that it's good for him to have a studio. So this year we initiated with our team to build a studio. We did phase 1. We are in phase 2 for people who have already promised, people who are continue delivering cement. The work is in progress, and we are so grateful as a team for your support that you are supporting us always. We still say pole to our Professor Chelugo, who lost his dad, and the burial will be taking place on Tuesday. So asanteni sana. From here, we cross over to Ohio. Balozi, karibu sana Balozi, habari ya Columbus, Ohio.
Kongoi Osea, Kongoi. Thank you so much, our viewers, our guests has arrived. Asanteni sana, karibuni nyote. Otokotin eng betutab rani, kibendi rani ako kebebertab nebo Australia. Koking'etye kebeberta nebo Nandi County akebe akoi Australia. Ole kikure Adelaide anan South Australia. Kimeche sikeker kele mi ne kebeberatak bo South Australia. South Australia ko ole kinyorchin ole mi osea ako mi toonyo nebo betutab ra. Kemeche ketachak tugul ing ole omi kelecho karibuni. Episode nito 58 is a very special episode. Chang biik checham kotebene kole ameche awo bitonin. Ameche awo America, ameche awo Australia, ameche awo ano. Ketinye ra chito nekikomut biik chechang neboto osea. Anan kibunu program nito osea.
Yes.
So kongoi. So singeng'ololi, at least you can see that we have somebody, you know what OSEA has done, kokibunu program ini, kongimakchinigei kebeberta nebo Australia, anan ko emotinwek chechang chemeche sikekas, ko tune in asikobit inyoru boroindo, inai ile ne. Kimeche kityo kesomin kele, cheng kartasit ak kalamit, simakoi kokeny itebe ile kakamwa ne bichu kai. So find a piece of paper and a pen so that you can write the information and the requirements that we will get from our guest today. So changa leju ko kararan itinye kartasit. Meanwhile, kemeche ketestai. Ko karibuni nyote kitochok tugul. Kimeche keker kele ne nekenyorchin kebebertab Australia, like always. Ko kotom keityo ko engineer makerin engineer Janet. Amune Florida. How is Florida engineer?
Kongoi, Balozi, Kongoi Ocean. Also, thank you so much to our guest today, Director Helen, and your colleagues over here. Sisi huku Florida, tunaendelea vizuri. We thank God for good health, and we are very, very happy to have our guest today. It's a very special episode that no one would like to miss. I wouldn't want to miss. And I can't wait to learn more about how to get to Australia and also just about your journey. So karibuni sana, sisi tunaendelea vizuri. And kwa wasikilizaji wetu tunaomba please share anyone who can benefit about this or from this program or from today's show. I know there's a lot of people who are always interested in leaving the country and going to study, especially in Australia. This is your place. So please share show nenya or YouTube page so we can reach many more people. Kongoi Balozi.
Kongoi nye Engineer Janet kibwatwa kora kobo Tamu Life. Ngalekab chaik. So kora karon ngole America ko chaik choe ngole ko choto mure Tamu Life akot kigeni alak kigeni shipment engineer ko itolep Ohio so kobit ketestai chaik. And our sister mgeni wetu Engineer Janet akona chai ambaye inaitwa Tamu Life. So inaweza it can be shipped to Australia. So we'll find a way of shipping it to Australia as well. And we won't forget Optiven, the credible company in Nairobi. If you want to own a property, it's the best company that will make sure that you get your dream. So we invite you to visit the website of Optiven and be able to call and be able to own a property. So whatever price or whatever money you have, you can, they can budget for you and help you be able to realize your dream. Even the young people that are here, you can own a property in Nairobi.
Hi there, my name is George Washuri. I am so happy to see you, and today I am here to enumerate, to explain how we package our land investment. And the way we package it is to ensure that every single Kenyan can be able to purchase a piece of property, a piece of land, depending on your pocket. We have 5 levels of our property.
Kongoi, thank you, Mr. George Washuri, the CEO of Optiven. Thank you so much. And you can be able to purchase land regardless of, your status. So it's possible. So Tiem visiten Optiven asokobit inyorchige boroindo ionena property. Kogo ugila, we would like our guest is here. So usually we would like to atusalamie tu kabla hatujaanza so that we know that the guest is here. Nataka tu Helen useme jambo kwa wasikilizaji wetu, those who are following us, so that they know you are here now. So karibu Helen, nataka tu useme jambo ndio wasikie kuwa umeshafika kwa ukweli.
Asante sana balozi. Kwangu ni shukrani kwa Mungu na shukrani kwangu nyinyi wote kwa kutualika kwa hii kipindi yenu ya siku ya leo number 58. First of all, I just want to say my name is Helen Meria, director and founder of Options Education Agency, an agency that deals with migration of students from different parts of the world to other parts of the world. And it's a company that has been in existence for the last 12 years, and we have perfected our art of student mobility from different countries. And language yetu ama lugha yetu ni wanafunzi. And a lot of them, wale wako hapa Australia, wengine hata wako nchi zingine. Sana we started with Australia. It's only recently we have introduced other destinations. But hiyo ndio lugha yetu. Whoever you are, if you want to further your education, you are talking to education experts.
Asante, asante.
Our expertise, and you are welcome to hear more about us tonight.
Asante, yeah, tutasikia hiyo. We are looking forward, Miss Helen, ndio tusikie hiyo maneno hiyo. So tunataka tu salamia hawa, lakini asante. People, meanwhile, tafuta kartazi na kitabu, ama kartazi na kalamu, alafu ndio utaandika hii maneno. Usikuje useme, where do you get information? Later on, we will put them in our website so that you can, if you want and information, you can follow, but be ready so that we continue. Thank you so much. Huyo ni Helen Meria, ambaye ni mgeni wetu number 58 kwa program siku ya leo. So tumempata upande wa Australia. Kama kawaida, tungependa tutujue hii Australia iko na nini, so that saa zile unatuma mtoto huko unajua anaenda pande gani ama anaenda wapi. So tumempata upande wa Adelaide, South Australia, lakini kama kawaida Australia iko na area ya 7,692 na 24 km square. That is the same as 2,969,907 square miles. Hiyo ni number 6th in the world. Population is very, very small. It has 25 million or 25.7 million. That is number 53 duniani. That is in the 2020 census. GDP, nchi ya Australia is $1.375 trillion, number 13 in the world. So obviously this country is very, very, very rich. Per capita income wakigawanya wakigawanya pesa ya NGO, kila mtu including Osea, including Helen, will take 50,844, number 10 in the world. Independence walipata from the British, like Kenya, January 1901. It's the land of kangaroo. The only country you can find kangaroo. Tumewapata ama tumempata upande wa Adelaide, the capital city of South Australia. Iko na population ya 1.4 million and 50 in Australia. It's land of the free settlers. So inaitwa most colorful and diverse communities upande wa Australia. Global rating, unemployment rate iko chini kabisa. So it's a very good place to visit. Most livable cities in the US, ilikuwa namba duniani, most livable cities waliporate in 2021. South Australia was number 3 in the world after Auckland, Osaka, Wellington, New Zealand, Tokyo, Japan, Perth, Australia, Melbourne, and then Brisbane ilikuwa number 10. So Adelaide ilikuwa number 3. If you want to go to the most livable city in the world, Adelaide is number 3 in the world. So tunakuambia visit Perth, Australia. If you want to visit Australia, It's wonderful. Tutafika huko, Helen, mimi na Janet, we will be visiting Wasea now. We have another friend. So we will have a lot of people to visit. Australia is among a packet of our countries that we want to visit. So as you see in the pictures, the third most livable city in the world is Adelaide, ambaye tulimpata mgeni wetu wa siku wa leo. So we will have our lady starting us today, that is Engineer Janet atatuanzisha. We are looking forward siku ya leo so that we follow your story. And we believe your story will inspire so many people out there. And we go by ladies first. So Engineer, you will start us. Karibuni nyinyi nyote who are following us. We would like to ask you to share. Please share our program siku ya leo so that we can all be part of this. So Engineer Janet, tunakukaribisha, karibu sana.
Asante sana Balozi, na mgeni wetu tunaelekea kuanza sasa. Na swali yangu ya kwanza, Director Helen, ni introduce yourself, basically tell us where were you born, where did your journey begin from the very on. So where were you born, where is your family, how was it growing up? Where did you go to primary school and secondary school? Karibu, Helen.
Thank you very much, Engineer Janet. And that's a very long introduction. First of all, I would say my name is Helen Meria, but when I was born Helen Nyawira Waroi. I was born in Kirinyaga County. That's where I was born. My father was a school teacher, very keen and very, as you know, those old days teachers were disciplinarians. All of us, we were born 7 children. I'm number 6 in a family of 7. And we all went to school like most teachers' children. And I went to school in a village school called Komboine Primary School. Anytime I think about it, I can tell you, life journey can take you through so many turns, because that was our village school, which I still have a lot of attachment with. I still feel, the touch of it. You feel good about it. I went to high school in Kabare Girls High School after my that time it was not KCP, it was called CP. That is back in 1976. I went to Kabare Girls High School, where I studied all the way to Form 4. Finished my high school with a nice, good pass, because I got admitted to A-levels. That time there was no 844. A lot of you can't even think what was going on back then. But I think we were using the British system, exactly what we call now GCE and IGCSE, but we used to call it KCE, and then we used KCSE. I think it was, mine were called Kenya case. It was not KCE, it was EACE. We did East African Education, Certificate of Education, which was the EACE, that was a Form 4. And then we would go straight to A-levels so that we can get our way to university. I went to Machakos Girls High School in Machakos County. Back in the days, you used to choose which school you want to go to, depending on the combination of the subjects you want to do. So I did choose Machakos Girls as my first choice, and I found myself, I saw a letter in a CAC envelope brought to our home in the village that I had the admission to go to Machakos Girls High School, which I was very, very happy. And it's from there I studied for 2 years before joining University of Nairobi to study Bachelor of Commerce, which I studied for 3 years. And after that, obviously with BCom, I did BCom accounting, which was quite horrendous. As back in the days, I don't know whether University at Hosea they study and they still can work. I don't know whether it's that we did manage. After that, I got a job with the government. I worked with the Auditor General Corporations, where I used to work as assistant auditor. Before joining National Cereals and Produce Board as one of the accountants there, I was an inventory accountant there for a period of about 3 years. And after that, I joined, I went to full private, where I worked for, initially I worked for the company that built airports. It's a British company. We built the Eldoret airport. I saw that airport from the scratch to the end. I was the management accountant for that project, after which I joined another program called the Community Development Trust Fund, which again, we had offices across different parts of Kenya, and one of the regional office was Eldoret, another one was Mombasa and Meru, and also me, I was working in the head office in Nairobi, again as the project accountant. So we dealt a lot with the community. I've been deep into communities across Kenya, auditing different projects before finally finding my way to Australia, where I am 20 years ago. After that project, I did come this way. I have, with my young family, I am a mother of 3. I have 3 grown-up sons. I'm a grandmother of 3, and life goes on. Here I am. I started my career here in Australia as a management accountant, mainly in the wine sector. Like I told Balozi earlier on, South Australia is a wine state. It's a festival state. It's a city of churches. So I managed to get a job in the wine sector, where I worked until the last day when my job got retrenched. Like most corporates, what they do, they merge, they restructure. When I lost my job, I just found, because while still working with the winery, I used to help a lot of people, friends and family, to find their way to Australia to come and study. Because when I got here, the thing that really impressed me were the options which are here. This place was full of many, many options. I honestly could never imagine someone not finding their way here, and they're just in Kenya looking for a job after their university or looking for where to study. This is a place you come as a student, you still, even before you start studying, you already have a job. Even if you are working part-time a few hours, you are able to look after yourself, even though the family is still looking after you. So those options really blew me away. And whilst doing my accounting job, I used to help. I actually brought in quite a number of friends and families' children, family children, and our own relatives to come and study. They all start from diploma or degree program. In fact, some guys are pilots. I know a guy who is a pilot, and he came that time when I was still a management accountant. So when my job came to an end, I came across this guy who used to work in a college, and he told me, how about you visit our college and we might be able to give you a job to help people to find their way here from your African country. And that was the beginning of options, and that's why we are here. That was back in 2009 when I did my last shift as a management accountant for a very prominent wine company, which was US based, but had branches here in Australia.
Thank you, Helen, for taking us through. I know you've started in Kirinyaga all the way to South Australia and to what you're doing right now. Allow me to just take you back one moment before we continue from where you are right now. Growing up, looking back right now, what can you reflect, or like what can you say about your background, or like what you went through, and how has it influenced your life at the moment? Well,
I think what I would say, growing up, I grew up like a normal child. I sometimes look back and somebody might think I grew up in a very poor background because, we were 7 children. Some of them were grown up when Mia was growing up, because we were quite well spaced. And growing up, we used to do a lot of farm work. One thing I know is that I think I was instilled with too much, you must work to get what you want. You know, that hardworking character, it was like something which was part of life. You don't expect to be at home and do nothing. Even if there's nothing to do, you might feel like kama umepumzika mahali unasikia kama umekosea. because you are supposed to be doing something. It's not just sit somewhere and play with friends and that's it. So constantly, upande wangu, when I was growing up, I grew up almost like throughout helping throughout in the family, and knowing that part of studying is also part of my role. I must do the best I can. If you don't do well, baba yako, mama yako anajua you can do better than that. It might even cost, you can be beaten just because of failing, because it looks like you are not supposed to fail. I know you can do better than that. Today, I know we don't have those kind of way of bringing up children, almost like they must go this way. We give them too many choices. In my time, I don't think I had too much choice. And I think that has influenced the fact that whatever I see, as long as they can generate something, make it generate something. Even if it's a child whom you can help, if you can be able to help to do something extra, to sacrifice something from yourself, and it benefits someone else, or something which adds value, to add value to it. It doesn't make, to me, it's not like work. It's like the way you breathe. It's like natural. It should flow naturally. It's not something that you should think too much about. And that has brought me into where I am. I now look back, I look at where I started. And one thing I know, there's nothing that can hold anybody back. It doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter where you started. All you need to do is to keep going, keep grabbing those opportunities when you get them. When you find new options, try them. And eventually, believe in yourself. And there's always that fear of there are other people who could be better than me. No, just move on and do it.
Thank you. The other question I have, Helen, for you is you transition from accounting and auditing to what you currently do with students. So I'm actually first curious, how did you get to Australia? How was that process for you? And how, I guess, has it informed what you are doing at the moment with options? I know you said like there's so many options. I'm so glad to hear a wide experience before you moved in Kenya. So it looks like you had a wide range of options as well. And I'm glad to see that your company is called Options. So there's always options in life and in whatever you do, for sure. So just take us through the process of you moving from Kenya to Australia, because that's what our listeners are curious to know. Like, how was it back then? How, and then I believe later you'll tell us how has it changed currently, and what do you do at
Ellen, to add on what Janet has said, we would also like to know why Australia, like why North America, why Australia? You are in Eldoret and then all of a sudden you decide it is Australia, like there are many other choices, America, Canada, UK. Saa zingine kuna watu wanasema kama si America ikae. Australia is beautiful, New Zealand is beautiful. Why Australia of all the places?
To be very honest, if I go back to what Janet asked me, I was transitioning from accounting to find myself here in Australia. First of all, I came to Australia in a very different system or different times. There's a time Australia was looking for professionals, young professionals who can come and work and live in Australia. And I can tell you, from the day I heard about Australia, the day someone whispered to me and told me, there are these friends of ours who left for Australia, why don't we look for a way also to go there? Because I think there are jobs there. There are many things happening there. I probably think I had lived in Kenya long enough. I was feeling like, young people, they love adventure. First of all, my kids were now in that stage of the firstborn had gone to high school. And I could see very soon they're going to finish their high school. Then if I'm going to be Australian, these kids are going to be absorbed in the universities there. So probably education was still the number one thing that gave me the morale and the feel that I should take this opportunity. It was so easy because all I needed to do was to take my degree certificate to the Australian immigration, the Australian embassy, which back in the days used to be at the Riverside. I got a book there, which I read a bit. All they needed was someone with a work experience, with some work experience, and has studied a whole range. There were a whole range of professions which you could apply with. My profession was one of the top. They had a big shortage of accountants in Australia back in the day. Not now, but it was there. My husband, who is a civil engineer, he also was qualified to apply for the same, but like someone told us, because we went to see a consultant, just to know, an Australian consultant who visited Kenya back in the day is always going to get the experts tell you things. So this expert migration agent, a Mzungu from Australia, he told us, I remember we met him in a hotel. We just saw an advert and we went to see him. He explained to us, don't use the engineer's qualifications, you use the accountant. This is the easiest, because first of all, accountants, there's a humongous shortage in Australia. So that's how it happened. And within 6 months, to cut the whole story short, we were doing our final medicals. I think in the 7th month, we had permanent resident visas to work and live in Australia. And not just for me, it was there for me, my husband, and my 3 boys, all of us. A family of 5, we are now in Kenya. We have been given permanent residence. We started getting scared. Are we really going? This is too quick. It's too good to be true. Now, as Balozi asked me, why did we choose Australia and not US and not Canada? In fact, to tell you the truth, even me, sometimes I wonder how this happened. Probably because the journey was too easy to Australia. I remember going to America could have been an option, but I didn't know where to start. There was no clear cut, like I can go just to go and study. A lot of people who moved to America back then, some of them were telling us they don't have visas, they're hiding. And some of them would not even come home, even when they need to come home. So I was a little bit scared on that one. Now, this is a different one where you're being told, please come and work for us. Actually, like, I always like giving people options where I get them. I think I managed to pull about 10 more people from Kenya around the time, because I told many friends how easy it is to get your papers to go and work and live in Australia. And no one forces you anyway. You can come and say, I didn't like it, you go back. But now here we are, you come, you are given, why did we choose South Australia? South Australia was offering a very good deal where if you have a family, you are given a house for 3 months, a house fully furnished. You don't have to live in a hotel. After 3 months, you find your way. So to be very honest with you, it was a very, very soft landing in this country. They welcomed us in 2 hands. We never even felt anything. It was just like government guests coming from Kenya to be received by the government of Australia. And it was so easy. When I came here, the thing I saw first were the opportunities which were here in all sectors, whether agricultural, whether education, name it. It was one of the countries I came and I found I had never traveled to first world countries. So coming here was a big cultural shock for me. The orderliness of things, the systems, the buses, the moving of everything, the cleanliness. Some of my counselors, even including the ones who are on this, our student counselor, because I have a whole team from our options team, they have visited Australia. They all feel the same. You come to a first world, you wonder, why are we not having the same thing back home? Because there's nothing different really other than organization. And we were all very impressed and we love the country. And up to now, we love Australia. It's our home, our second home. Yes.
Thank you so much, Helen. I know you're going to tell us a little bit more about what you do, and thank you for taking us through your journey up to where you are. So I guess now, if you can just briefly introduce Options or the company that you founded, and then we will go from there. I'll let Hosea take over with the questions.
Oh, thanks, Janet. Like I said earlier, Options is a company that was founded out of necessity. It was actually operating informally because I don't know what I was doing, because I was just helping students from left, right, and center. Please come, yes, there's this course, there's this. until I lost my job. And finally, I landed into, someone told me I could work with a college. It was just a college, and the college went on and on to colleges, to universities. Now today, Options is a 12 years old global company, which brings in to Australia close to 400 students every year from different parts of Africa, mainly Africa. We also have offices in the Philippines. So we do have another country manager from, we also have our presence in the Philippines. We have our offices in Nigeria, and we have our offices in Uganda and Kenya. Back 12 years ago, things were very different. It was very hard, as you can imagine, starting a new company like the way you are starting Tamu tea. Is it Tamu coffee or Tamu tea? Tamu tea.
Tamu Life tea. Yes.
Yeah, Tamu Life. Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Like the way you're starting Tamu Life tea, you just have to start somewhere. I was the director. I was the founder. I was the secretary. I was the clerk. I was everything. All I remember, I used to work not less than 14 hours a day. And it used to happen, I work from morning and I sleep at midnight. I honestly didn't know how I did that for more than quite a number of years. And in Kenya, I tried to employ somebody, and I did employ, one of the first person I worked with was my own sister, who used to be my courier. I would tell her, go and see Balozi. She has a daughter who wants to go to Australia, and she will go look for Balozi with her bag, and she will open a few pages. And that time I've sent some informations with her. We would get one student here, one student there. And eventually we started our tiny little office somewhere in Nairobi. Now, meanwhile, all this time I'm working all by myself. All these people I'm trying to recruit to work for me, they know nothing in terms of the visa application. So I'm the one who was a champion. I learned a lot. Anytime you are starting a new business, you have to be ready to study and to learn and to be taught and to listen and to, of course, put in so many hours, because I couldn't afford to employ anyone. Anyway, long story short, going through over the years, we have grown to a global company whereby now we have a few branches. We have branches across the globe. I think we have 10 offices in total. And with time, we started by recruiting one person, and then there's a time we recruited a manager, and he changed his job description to stealing from our students. And then we ended up in a mess with police, with schools. Students have lost money. Again, you don't give up. That is the time when I could have quit. I didn't quit. I came back. Actually, I traveled to Nairobi to see how best we can restructure ourselves. And we exactly did that until we reached where we could be able to sustain ourselves a little bit. We started with 1 employee, 2 employee, 3 employee. Before I knew it, we are opening a branch in Eldoret. Eldoret was our first branch from Nairobi. And by the time we were opening Eldoret branch, we traveled there with my then country manager, and we spent a week there trying to establish an office and recruit people who have never known anything to do with international education. And that's the time you talk to people and try and trust them. And they give you people, you trust people, and then you look at them, you work with them. And one of the girls we recruited on that day is Viola Chelimo. She's there sitting there with that gentleman. Hi, Viola. We recruited Viola when she was supposed to be our tea girl. You know, in Kenya, we have people called tea girls, and others, you call them people, watu wa mkono, wa kutumatumwa na wale wengine. And then we employed 2 graduates who are supposed to be the counselors. But with time, things went on, and we trained even Viola. And today she's one of our top student counselors. This 2021, she actually scooped the an award which is coveted by many of our counselors. She was the counselor of the year 2021. She manages to, she's done well. She's grown. I've seen this girl grow from like a baby, you know, an infant. And I love it when I see people growing and becoming people whom you can almost like do everything, who can handle everything. I can leave the whole of Eldoret to Viola, and I know it will be running. smoothly. And with time, we have also been able to recruit other people, and maybe I'll introduce the team I have here on the stage. I do have a Grace Bogwa. Grace Bogwa, there she is. Grace joined us about 2 years ago, and Grace, she's our country manager, very hardworking young ladies, and very, very instrumental to the company. And I would say we are very grateful that we have her as our team leader in East Africa. She's able to move across Uganda, Kenya, Eldoret, and I think even next week she's heading for Eldoret. Grace has been working with us, and she brought to us a wealth of experience from other background, which was very relevant to us. And then I also introduced, maybe I'll start with the branch manager for Eldoret, that is Davis Obiri. Davis Obiri, he's been with us like 3 or 4 years now. I probably think it's 3 or 4 years. 4 years. And Davis came to us, his background, he's a teacher. He joined us as a student counselor, and today we are able to entrust him with our Eldoret branch, where he works with Viola. They help each other, and we have another team behind them. It's one of our most very active branch. We have other team members for Eldoret who are not here with us, and on we go. We are based at the Eldoret Metro Towers, the building called, very well known as Safaricom House. We are based on level 7. We are in 7th floor of that building. That's our home. And we feel like we own the building. We keep telling the owners, I think this building, you need to give us something, because we've become like part of the building bricks of the building. We've been there, we love it. There's good space. You are most welcome, anyone who comes to Eldoret. Last but not the least is Millicent Jemutai. Millicent joined us. Actually, she is one of my oldest, young, not old age, one of my oldest counselors. She's been working with us for quite a number of years. I think now we could be talking of 6 or 7 years. We've been working with, she's among the team that I entrusted with. I'll hire somebody, I'll hire more people. And because you couldn't hire very, very high profile people, you start with people who are, she was doing her CPAs back in the day. I think I got attracted with the fact that she's an accountant, and I know accountants are very, they have very sharp eyes to details. And we got Millicent when she was a trainee, studying her CPA. Now she's a qualified CPA accountant, and she is one of our top counselors who is a trainer. She does a lot. I think Hosea identified her as the one who managed to work through his case to Australia. So Millicent has moved a lot of students here, considering she's worked for very long with us. And one thing we are very grateful to God for is that our employees are very faithful and loyal to us. We look after them, they look after us, they look after the clients on the ground, because if you have a very quick movement of your employees, I tell you, you can't even settle. But God has been faithful. They have all been faithful to us, and they have worked very hard. So other than that, we have a whole team which is behind us. We have people in Uganda, we have people in Nigeria. Nigeria is a very big place. As you know, it's a very populous nation. It's a country with a lot of, like 5 times the population of Kenya. And the country itself, we do have a lot that we do there. But obviously home is the best, east or west. You find yourself doing much more at home. We love Kenya. We go to Kenya every year. We travel there 2 to 3 times a year. But unfortunately with COVID, we are missing home. Hopefully it opens up. We'll be among the first ones to land there and do what we love doing. Yes.
Thank you so much, Director Helen. I will let Hosea ask his next questions, and then we will continue. And thank you for introducing your team. So I hope our listeners wamesikiza. There is an office in Eldoret. This is usually Kalenjin, like in Kalenjin, but we are happy to do it today in Kiswahili so we can even reach more people. So there's offices in Nairobi, offices in Eldoret, offices in Kampala. So I'm really, really happy. Offices in Nigeria. So we have all the opportunities really in our hands. So thank you so much, Madam Helen. Balozi and Hosea.
Hosea, as we wait for Hosea, if I may ask Madam Helen, how many students have you, as options assisted so far? Because, we're talking of, or you've even lost count, like how many students have you helped?
I probably would say the number of students we have helped so far, obviously there will be over, I would say several thousands, because we don't just help students from East Africa. We have students from West Africa. We have students from the Philippines. We have students from Australia, because Australia is also another market whereby we have a lot of students, whether you are Hindi, whether you are China, whether you are, they all fall under the list of our students. Nikiongea about Kenya, from Kenya alone, lazima, by now I think tuko na wanafunzi more than 2,000. When I look at the population, let me tell you a small story. When I moved to Adelaide, because you asked me why did you choose Adelaide or Australia, this country, it's only by God's grace that you'd come here and stay back in the day. There were no Black people. To be very honest, in South Australia, you'd stop somewhere on the street when you see a dark colored person moving across the other side of the street, and labda ni mwindi wa kutoka Mumbai, just to go and say hello, because unasikia nikaa uko nyumbani. Ukiona mtu kama ni hata kama ni wa Liberia, hata kama ni wa kutoka sehemu yoyote gani, bora awe ni dark skin, unafikiria I think I need to say hello to this person, because akukuwa na wa Africa at all in this country. Today, if you move in a street of Adelaide, you don't have to say hello to Africans, because unless that is all what you went there to do. There are so many. You wonder, hata ni wa Kenya. You know, sometimes tunaangaliana tunasema, ai, huyu Mkenya, huyu anakaa Mkenya. Huyu, Now the same case you go to Melbourne, the same case you go to Perth. Perth ukienda utapata the whole of Uasin Gishu is in Perth. Nusu yake I think imehamia huko. Na nakwambia that is how we want it. In fact, nilikuwa naongea na mtu wa kutoka a different part of Kenya, na waambia sasa, si mshikane jameni, mshikane na mwambie watoto wenu, na mwambiane hii maneno, because inakaa wakale wamejitabua, wanaambiana, hakuna mtu hataki kuambia mwingine. Mimi sijaona mkale hata mmoja hapa hana relative. Kila mtu ako na ndugu yake, ako na kazini yake. Kama sasa wale wamefika hii season, tumefungua milango, nimesikia wengi wameingia, naangalia visa zikitoka, ni Kichumba, ni Chepkoech, ni hata mimi nashindo. Na that makes me feel kama kuna watu wanafanya kazi as a community, it is people from the Rift Valley, because wengine mtu anakuja hapa anataka kutisha tu wengine. Wewe unasema mimi nilienda majuu, nyinyi kaeni huko. Sisi tuko majuu, tunawatumia dola kidogo, alafu tunapumzika. Badala ya uvurute manefi wako, manises, na sio ni kitu, it's an investment that you can never go wrong. It's an investment which I encourage every Kenyan who has tasted the fruits of where you are. Hata kama wewe uko Ukerezani, hata kama uko huko Marekani, ambia wengine ni nini unakula huko, angalau tuje tuonje hata sisi, badala ya kukaa tu. And I'm so grateful to the people in the Rift Valley, because I can tell you, it's not a joke. 3 out of 5 of every students who move to Australia, watatu ni wa kutoka somewhere in either Uasin Gishu, Kericho. Grace, ni kweli ama uongo? That is the truth.
Nasema ukweli kabisa, Helen. Nasema ukweli.
Embu ambie.
Hamjambo wote, asanteni sana kwa kutualika leo katika nitaita forum hii. I don't know kama nitajaribu kupronounce the correct way. Igere Nee Chitab Kalenjin.
Yes.
Kama nimesema vile iko.
No, umesema vizuri.
Sawa. Asante sana. Na venye director wetu amesema ni ukweli kabisa. Manake tunapenda kuambia wanafunzi kwamba lazima uanze mahali. Na ukiweza kufanikiwa uende nchi za ng'ambo ambao tunaita kama nchi za ughaibuni, Australia ama huko US ama huko UK, huwa ni vizuri. Maisha ikikuendea mzuri pia unashika mwingine mkono unamvukisha daraja. So that in that way tunatengeneza community ambayo tumeempower. Badala ya kupatia tu mtu fish, you teach them how to fish. And that is essentially why niko hapa katika hii session ya options, na pia I'm part of options kwa sababu tunaweza kugrow hiyo generation. And for me as a country manager, wakati nakaa na team yangu, the one thing ambayo tunakuwa very proud kufanya ni manake tunaongea na vijana, watu ambao ni almost our age mates, some are older than us, na wakifika Australia mtu akwambie vile anaendelea. Like today I'm very proud to hear what Hosea anaongelea kuhusu. Alifika akapata Millicent and now he's here building himself and also a community of other winners. Kwa hivyo it's such an honor, to be honest. It is.
Helen, I wanted to ask the lady that just, Grace.
Yes.
Let's assume I'm from Kapsabet. Mimi natoka Kapsabet.
Yes.
Kuna watu wengi kutoka Kapsabet wananipigia wananiambia, so let's say I am in the village and I want to come to the office. What should I bring? Kama nimemaliza shule, ni nini nahitaji kuleta kwa ofisi yako ndio hii maneno so that this can happen? What do I need to bring as a village gentleman from Kapsabet nikikuja ofisini?
Assuming unakuja ofisi kutoka Kapsabet, wewe ni mzazi, mtoto amemaliza form 4 na ako nyumbani na wewe, kitu ya kwanza tutakupatia ni direction ndio uweze kujua mahali utatupata. So we are going to guide you na tukwambie ukuje na KCSE. Na saa zingine huwa kama mwanafunzi alikuwa na passport, pengine amesha kutembea before amalize shule, tunamwambia akuje pia na passport. Ikiwa hana, hakuna shida, akuje na ile document ambayo ako nayo. The most recent documents are education. So kama amemaliza form 4 alete KCSE. Kama amemaliza university akuje na KCSE na transcripts ya university. Wakati anafika kwetu, kama hana passport, huwa tunamsaidia kujua jinsi ya kuapply your passport. Because it's the first step, ndio travel nchi jirani, lazima ukuwe na passport. Kwa hivyo tunakusaidia, tunakuguide, tunakuambia enda apply passport. Ukipata passport, hizi documents tuko nazo hapa utuletee pia, ndio tuweze kufanya sasa kitu ambacho tunaita career counseling ama program counseling. Tunapenda sana kuongea kuhusu counseling, na hiyo ndio tunajivunia kama option sana sana, kwa sababu hatutaki tu kurusha mwanafunzi mahali ambapo pengine hayuko satisfied. We talk about what do you have as a person. Ndio ukienda kusoma, unaenda kufanya course ambayo pia unapenda na unaweza kuhitimu vizuri. Kwa hivyo tunafanya program counseling which can take just same day. Once you select, tunakuuliza kama uko na a specific location ungetaka, pengine Adelaide, pengine unataka kwenda kujoin Hosea, ama unataka kwenda Melbourne, ama unataka kwenda Queensland. Tunakuguide pia, tunakuambia okay, tuko na hizi universities, and then we lodge your application. So ukienda pale Eldoret utapata counselor wetu, utapata Viola, utapata Obiri, na hata wazazi ambao wanapiga kutoka any part of the country huku Kenya ama nje, we make sure we link them same time to a counselor. Immediately they call, we link them to a counselor who calls them back so that we are able to ensure huyo mwanafunzi hajawestiwa time. We like to move with them.
Asante, sijui kama ungependa kuongezea Millicent.
Yes.
Ako Millicent, ndemu kokse imwaji bichu ngutit amu kakomwaiwech Helen kole biik chechang chemitei karibu 3/4 chechang ing biik somok anan biik mut chebendi olimbo Australia konekit ko biik somok kobun Rift Valley. Ameche imwaji biik Millicent chokosen olimbo village ko ng'olyondoni simara ngot ko kechilil lakwani kong'ololi imwaji ngutit sikokas biik amu bo komonut notok. So ameche itesyi Millicent anan the lady from Eldoret.
Viola.
Viola. Oh, Viola.
Kale yangu ni ngumu.
Viola.
Hello. Wamune tugul.
Kichamege.
So ofisi yangu mite in Eldoret, so kitareti biik kobun takwek chechang kong'etege Musuriat, Olava, Kapsabet, Kaiboi, alafu all the way to Kericho. So after their sigik chemite cheka singta kweka alaktugule kobwa sinigetaret lago kwa. So office nyago mite Metro Tower Safaricom House 7th floor. So chi agetugul nebeje number ko kitinya number ineke jani. So 0701 chi agetugul nemeje ko kasej anan chi agetugul netinye ngaliat akobo somanetab bitanin komuch konyorwech engin Safaricom Metro Tower 7th floor. So number nebo simet ko 0701 171 665 and then go 0701 171 651. So office nyage yate kongetege 8 agoi saa 11. Okay, kia weekend gora half day. So imuji nyorwe petuna na nimetinye nafasi imuji nyo office nya Saturday. So kongo yose.
Wei ne ameje ngot komeje konyo ji nebunu ga oli ngoibune. Biik chechang ngolimba ga kolen mara kokali kolen alake lion ko kiamwochi biik aleji tiemberberiet kali berberiet mising kosir somanet. So amami kiy ne rahisi eng dunia. Lazima iyai ako kiy nebo kamanut nekamwa Helen ko kalelen kararan singiwendi ngobendi biik Western Union ibote chewendi amu kakiyokun kengolin ako ngochanga biik chekabwa kotoreti ne nemeche koib chito konyone office lakwani.
So kinemeche koib chito office ko documents chebo sukul. So ngele kokotar chito form 4 ako meche kotesetai somanet eng Australia. So unakuja na KCSE chito na kotar form 4 ainda anan ngele koitar diploma ak imeche itesetai degree. So tuna kipakejani program nengung anan kichebe kongetege diploma agoi degree agoi koit masters level. So among the trusted agencies thinking was Singishu, because we are honest, transparent in kia. So amita tigi galatugule kobwa. So abwati ale okay we deliver. Anan kimande lago kabisa.
Kongoi, the gentleman, maybe you can say something too, because we don't want to leave you, we don't want it to be the boy child only. Maybe you can say something to the boy child so that we are not left behind. What can you tell, encourage a boy child in the village to be able to seize the opportunity? Obiri.
Yeah, so hello everyone, my name is David. So I'd like to encourage any boy child in the village with a Form 4 certificate and wondering where he can go for the studies. He can come to our office. We are based in 7th floor Metro Towers so that we can assist him realize his dreams. Yeah.
Kongoi, thank you so much. Maybe tutawachia Helen aongezee kitu, lakini kabla hiyo, Osea, wewe ni beneficiary. Osea ulitoka village, and you see very interestingly, Mrs. Helen and the team here. Osea used to be a boda rider. Yeah, alikuwa mtu wa boda hata hakujua hii maneno ya huko ngambo. So huyu jamaa yangu sijui aliuza hiyo pikipiki yake ama alifanya nini. So Osea mwenyewe atatuambia. Osea, Kirinyaga ngaleju, what did you do with boda yako? Na ulisikia kutoka nani hii maneno? And what happened to you, Osea? Wewe ukitoka village to Ngetun? Osea?
Asante sana Balozi na asante sana team ya Option Education Agency. Mini alumni of Option. I'm part of the family. Option is a very, very big family. So Balozi, once you are alumni, you are part of the family. Mimi nilipata uchumbe, sikuwa na hii mpango, sikuwa na fomu ya kwenda majuu. I think my counselor anajua hapo. Nilienda nikisindikiza mtu. So kusindikiza hali anga Nairobi, sikuweza kukaa kwa gari.
Osea, mtu alikuwa amekupatia kazi ya kupeleka mtu boda. Alafu ukauliza unaenda wapi, anakuambia mimi naenda Australia. Wewe unapea mtu unaambia unaendaje na unapatia mtu ride. Alafu then what happened?
So balozi, nikiwa harakati ule rafiki wangu ni two friends. Wa kwanza alienda after hapo akatravel akaenda Melbourne. Wa pili Masai, nikamfuata ile kumfuata, alafu nikawa interested, I think the same movies bado iko. Kufika hapo sikukaa kwa gari, nikaingia nilipokuwa ndani huko ikawa coincident, tukapatana sasa na Millicent na akaniongelesha, tukaongea na nikawa interested na akanitia moyo, akaniambia uzuri ya Australia, na from there nikawa convinced. Lakini vile aliongea beneficiary, nimeona marafiki wangu the same thing yenye mama wao alisema, kuwa ukipata watu 3 ama 4 huko kwetu watu kuja majuu is a very big deal. So at least hata ukisikia mtu anaenda Australia unataka kumsindikiza mpaka airport, you want to be associated with someone who is going outside of the country. So kwa form yangu nilikuwa natengeneza na urafiki na huyu mjamaa wangu mwenye anaenda majuu, akifika majuu nikumbuke. So in the process tukakutana na Millicent, and that's the story. Change motorbike balozi. It is a story, it's a long story. But we worked through with Millicent, but the journey wasn't easy. We almost 1 year, but she never gave up in the process. I give up, but my counselor give up. She was the one encouraging us, say, you will make it, this country easy. Bring in a letter. Unajua mtu apota ushamba ni kubwa, lakini Millicent alini take through all process. I think Mama, you will explain more about the importance of having a counsel. You know, most of our viewers, most of our listeners ni wazee wa mashinani. So wazee wa mashinani wanataka kuelezwa sana about counselor. Watu wengi wanaweza fikiria ule kanza wala wa mashinani ama village. In our villages tuko na watu wanajua kila kitu. So my question is now, why importance of having a counselor when starting a process here kukuja Australia? And I think balozi
asante. So haukutuambia ulifanyia nini bodaboda, uliuza ama you kept it in the store? What did you do with your bodaboda?
Ilikuwa hata si bodaboda iko yangu balozi, ilikuwa ya ile kushika squat, you know.
Okay, wewe ulikuwa umeemployiwa. So asante. So at least unaendesha bodaboda huko Australia ama ulipromote?
Yes balozi.
Ninauliza, unaendesha bodaboda huko Australia ama you are promoted, unafanya vitu zingine?
Asante sana balozi. Maneno ya bodaboda tutakuja enda na mama na ni team yote, at least tuende tufanye something kwa my alumni wa bodaboda.
So asante. Jose amekuwa promoted, so yeye anaendesha gari siku hizi. But ukiongezea Mama Helen, I would like also to ask if kwa hizi harakati ya hii vitu yote hiyo, do you have any challenges that you've had over the years in doing all this? Kwa sababu, you know, I'm curious kwa sababu sasa wewe uko Adelaide, where watu wako different. You have offices in Australia, you have offices in Nigeria, in Philippines, in Kenya. You know, what are some of the challenges ama yote ni successes? Miss Helen.
And then balozi, maybe another question is, this is my experience. So if someone can call and ulize about Australia, naambia nilitumia option gani, nikiambia option Nairobi. So mtu wa Eldoret anataka specifically the same office yenye nilitumia Nairobi. So talk to our people like in those areas, like they can go to the office in Eldoret, but when I insist enye Hosea ulitumia ukafika ilikuwa gani Westland. So mtu anapita Metro Tower ya Eldoret, apande gari Nairobi mpaka Westland. So people wanatufadha and they are listening and yeah.
I think kitu kimoja ningetaka kusema as part of the challenges that we come through. Ni ile kitu ni kitu kimoja yenye nilikuwa nataka kuongelea juu yake. Na hii ni ile kitu inaitwa mistrust. watu ama kuna hapo kwa hii kazi yetu iko na mabandia wengi sana, na kawaida ndio unasikia Hosea anasema mtu anataka kwenda Australia na hataki kuingia Metro Towers, anataka kupanda matatu hapo chini ya Metro Towers aende mpaka Nairobi Westlands, juu hapo ndio Hosea alipitia. Kwa nini huyu mtu anafanya hivi? Because hataki aende mahali awekwe kona, na ukiwekwa kwa kona vitu zingine zinatokezea na unaanza kuitishwa pesa ingine chini ya meza. Unaambiwa usitume kwa pay bill number, tuma kwa hii namba. Wacha nikwambie sisi kama Viola aliposema, kitu kimoja yenye imetufanya tufike mahali tuko ni hiyo trust. Na sio wacha ile pesa mwanafunzi anakuja anaambiwa ile pesa kidogo unalipa ya kazi. Wacha hiyo, wengine hata ulipa the whole fees, tunawa guide how to pay the fees to the school. Juu kama mtu anaweza kuwa mtu mistrusted, utaimbia wangapi? Ukiimbia wa kwanza, wa pili, wa tatu, hiyo kazi imeisha. Watu wameanza kusema hapa chunga maisha. Sasa ile kitu ningetaka kuambia wale wazee wako Wasingishu na wengine wako mahali mbali, tafadhali ukitaka mtoto wako aende ng'ambo, usiangalie kwingine, karibu Options Education. Na kikiumana, mimi niko hapa, utaona Hosea atakuleta mpaka kwangu. Na kusema ukweli, tumekuwa na challenges kama hizo zenye mwanafunzi once in a while amekuja, ameshikana na labda mfanyikazi mwenye labda ulikuwa umemwandika hata huko umekaa naye, alafu ukasikia kuna pesa zinataka kwenda hivi lakini haziwezi enda mbali because our system is very straight. Kila mwanafunzi anaangaliwa na si mtu mmoja, anaangaliwa na watu wengi. Hata ukisikia umepata Viola in the office, Viola ndiye atakuchukua, ndiye atakwambia ulete KCSE certificate, enda ulete, kuja nikuonyesha how to do to get the passport. Hata kizungu labda utafanya, na usifanya kizungu kabla uambiwe, because sio kila mtu anatakiwa afanye kizungu kuja Australia, lakini watu wengine wanafanya kizungu hata kama hawajaambiwa. So unakuja unaambiwa kila kitu, na kitu kimoja yenye kimetushikilia vizuri, na not just us, hata zile mashule tunafanya nazo, hata ile government ya Australia tunafanya nayo, kitu inaitwa kudanganya. Kitu yoyote, hata kama umedanganya 1 bob, ni kama tu umedanganya 1 million. Hakuna kudanganya dogo na kubwa. So we just believe in one thing. We believe in integrity of the highest level, the highest standard, na hakuna vile utapoteza anything working with us, because hiyo ni kitu kimoja ndio imetushikilia, because tunajua kwa hii industry kuna wanyama wengi sana, na wengi wao watakwambia watakupeleka Amerika, Marekani, wengine watakwambia tutakupeleka Canada. Just recently nilikuwa na mwanafunzi aliniambia alipa 250 apelekwe Canada. I was very very sorry to the parent. Nikamwambia wewe kuja, ile kitu tunaweza tutakusaidia vile tutaweza. Huyo mwanafunzi ukitaka aende where you want, akasema anataka kuja Australia. Sasa unahurumia mtu kaa huyo, because the agent mwenyewe hata hajui atamtraceaje simu ilizima. Sasa maisha hizo ndizo some of the challenges we come through, because utaona unadeal na wanafunzi, unadeal na parents, na wengine wale hawamjui vizuri, wanaogopa kidogo. But when we talk to people, when we have our own alumni, wale wamepitia kwetu, hao ndio tunafurahia sana. Na wenye wanajua walipitia kwetu, anaambia ndugu yake, kaka yake, nani, hao ndio hata ndio wengi. Na kwa hivyo kwa hii kipindi hii tuko nayo saa hii, tungetaka kuambia wazazi, hii ndio wakati mzuri sana wa kuleta watoto. Hii ni mwanzo wa mwaka, tunajaribu sasa tunanyemelea wale wamemaliza KCSE. Usikae sana nyumbani kama umemaliza KCSE, because Australia how it works, ukikaa miaka mingi sana bila kusoma, we unaonekana ni kama huna mwelekeo, we hujijui, hujitambui. Na serikali ya Australia inakuwa serious sana, inasema wewe ni vile umekosa la kufanya ndio unataka kuhamia kwetu. And hiyo ni swali tunaulizwa kila asubuhi, kila jioni. So every time tunaambia mwanafunzi, make sure usitupe wakati mwingi sana nje. Jaribu kuja within 2 years, not more than 2 years. Tukusaidie uvuke pande ile, afadhali ukafikiria ukiwa pande ile. Because ukikaa hapa nyumbani sana, unless uko na kazi, because unaweza kuwa umeajiriwa mahali. Kama umeajiriwa hiyo ni sawa. Kama umeajiriwa utasema nilikuwa nafanya kazi mahali ya hoteli, nilikuwa nafanya kazi ya catering, lakini tena ukifanya hivyo lazima kama unakuja huku ufanye kitu yenye ita promote your catering. Usianze kutuambia unataka kufanya nursing. Kwa hivyo ni vile tu, that is how the rules are for Australia. Na hizi rules sio sisi tunazipanga, zimepangwa na serikali ya huku, na hii serikali is very consistent. Huwezi leta arguments zako. Huwezi sema mimi ni engineer, nataka sasa kwenda kufanya nursing. Unajua watu wengi sana wanapenda nursing. Ukija hapa, kama wewe ni engineer, kuja na Master of Engineering. Kama wewe umesoma, unafanya carpentry somewhere, kuja ufanya kitu kama, hata unaweza fanya engineering, because utasema nataka, I love things which are like doing things, being creative. Kama unafanya BCom, unakuja hapa unafanya masters in the same area. Kama unafanya something to do with health, we can now transform you through nursing programs. Kwa hivyo, it is a system created not by us. Sometimes people wanasikia vibaya tukiwaambia, wewe ni mwalimu, huwezi enda kufanya something else, like labda unataka kuja kufanya, wengi wao ni nursing sana ndio tunapigania sana. Unamwambia wewe kama ni mwalimu, sasa tutaambia serikali unatoka walimu unaenda kufanya nursing. Kwa nini? Kwa hivyo lazima ushikilie line yako. Kama unasoma degree, you have to move on. Kama unafanya diploma, jaribu and move on that. But let me tell you kitu kimoja. Najua sisi Australia system, I hope hii si kitu tunataka tusikiwe tukisema. Kwa hivyo nitasema na Kiswahili. Ukija hapa kama unakuja na walimu wako, tutakuleta njia za teaching, tutakuleta njia za social work, lakini ukifika huku tunaweza kupatia nafasi, unaweza patiwa nafasi, the system inakupatia nafasi, unaweza chagua chochote kile unataka kufanya when uko pande hii ya dunia. Kwa hivyo ukisikia our counselors, our student counselors, sio counselors hawa walichange jina wakaitwa MCA. Our student counselors are actually trained to be counselors, to train, to take you through the system, to take you through your background, to relate it with the future, and to relate it with the whole process of the visa. They see through the whole system. Ukijifanyia wewe mwenyewe, utajipata mashakani. Na ukinyimwa visa ya Australia, umejiharibia. Ukirudi tena kwetu, inakuwa ngumu sana. Utaona hata Viola hataki kuangalia na kuambia ulinyimwa visa. Sasa hii maneno tutaanzia wapi? Inakuwa ngumu zaidi. Like 3 times as hard. Juu sasa lazima address kwa nini ulinyimwa visa, ulipeana story gani, sasa ni story gani tutapeana ili tusipeane story tofauti. Sasa unaona, sasa lazima ukuje kwa ofisi, uonane na our trained counselors, because kama vile Jose anasema, you need to be taken through the system by an expert. Usifikirie unajua, because utajua haujui when it is irreversible. So clearly, we do help people. We do help people understand this whole system. It's a very, very technical system, I would say, a rigorous system. It's tiring. Sometimes a student comes with a very long story. You don't even know how to package it, but you have to listen. We listen to all students. We listen to all people. We don't turn anybody away. We need to take everyone. Hata balozi akitaka kuja kusomea hapa, we will listen. And we will know, and we will try and reason with him. Number 1 for everyone, kuna kitu inaitwa GTE. Kila mtu anajua GTE. Utauliza tu mtu mashambani, GTE ni nini? Ni kitu ya Australia. GTE is a system that is called Genuine Temporary Entrant Assessment System. Na hiyo system ndio imebeba visa yako. It's not your education background. It is not what you have been doing. It is that GTE. And that is where the expertise of a student counselor comes in. Watu wako trained in the government of Australia. We spend gazillion number of hours training on each and every turn. Everything changed. We go back on the drawing board. We have Zoom meetings every day, trying to capture the new changes that come in the system. So when you come to the student counselor, it's not just about kupita mtihani na A. Utapata hiyo A na usipate visa. Mwingine apate D minor na apate visa. Kwa nini? Because you must have that whole package. You must package the visa application. Unajua kupata nafasi ya kuja hapa lazima visa upate. Hakuna njia ingine. Hata kama umepewa offer ya kusoma, umelipa fees na hujapata visa, hapo ndio maneno iko. Na hapo ndio sasa student counselors will take you through there. It's a very rigorous system. You have to write something we call statement of purpose. Hakuna mtu anapenda kuandika hiyo. Kila mtu anakuambia tuandikie, niandikie, nitakulipa uniandikie. Atuandiki watu hiyo kitu. Ile kitu tunafanya, tunasikiza story zako, tunapelekana na wewe na tunakusaidia to come up with a very good one. Lakini hatuwezi andikia watu. Tutaandika the same. Kizungu ya Grace ni ile ile. Atashinda akirudia ile ile kizungu yake. Lakini ukiambia kila mwanafunzi aandike yake, kila mtu has a way of putting together their life. And that's exactly where we come from. So technically what I would say, wewe mzazi, wewe mwanafunzi, usiende mbali. Kama unataka kufika Australia, njia ndio hii. Huku wanafunzi hapa tunaongea Kikale, have the time. Hata utasikia tunaimba, mimi na manyimbo zote. Hasa uniita kila mahali. Mimi naenda kila mahali, tunaimba, tuna dance, maharusi, graduation, na not just Kale, hata Wakikuyu, hata Wajaluo, kila mahali. Hapa tumejaa sisi wote. Tafadhali usitupe wakati. Come and see us. We will help you. It is in the heart. For us, it's in the heart to see a successful case of a student. I wish you see how celebration is, how people celebrate in the office when a visa is granted. When a visa is granted, utasikia watu wamefurahi. Why? Because that's our DNA, and that's how we. It's very energizing to know that we are not just doing this for the sake of it. We have success cases and success stories. And more success stories which you want to hear, you can hear them in Australia. We have thousands of them. Next time, Jose, we will do that. Our alumni, there are so many, they have a lot to tell the others.
Asante, Helen. Thank you so much. And I liked what you said. Hii ya kuambia watu, use a counselor ndio akusaidie. Usijaribu kufanya ukarabati yako mwenyewe, alafu ikisha umana unaanza kuuliza who can help me. Hii maneno ni kama ndege saa zile nataka kurudi reverse. It's not easy mpaka isukumwe na machines. Ndege haiendagi reverse mpaka isukumwe. So jaribu kutumia a counselor, use a credible organization kama options, so that you, and then kitu ya maana usikae sana. Ukimaliza shule, immediately start doing something. Don't just go stay home alafu useme you didn't know what you are doing. Uende ukumbuke for a very long time. So use the offices, tumia ofisi ya Eldoret, tumia ofisi ya Nairobi, tuende namna hiyo. Miss Helen, tumeendelea namna hii. So umetuambia uko na familia, you know, for a very successful lady, there is a man behind, and you know, do you have a support of your family in these things? Tell us a little bit about your family, you know, how are they involved in this organization? Familia yako kule Australia ama kule nyumbani. I'm sure part of your family is the team that we have here also. Helen.
I have a big family. Hata jina Helen ilipotea, mimi naitwa Mama O, kila mtu ananiita Mama Options, na kusema ukweli niko na watoto wengi wenye nimejishindia kukuja hapa na tunafurahiana sana. We love each other, we love them, and I think some things, unless they come from your heart, you'll be tired of them. I never get tired of these kids. They just are lovely to see them excel. Wali wanakuja hapa wakituambia walikuwa wanaendesha boda na sasa wanaendesha Camrys, wanaendesha magari kubwa kubwa, na ukiwaona mtu anakuambia niko na gari, nilimaliza uni, mimi mshahara wangu ya kwanza nataka kununua gari, nijibless. Na unamwona tu akipita hivi hata ujui ni yule kijana alikuwa hapa, na kila mtu ako na story yake. Those stories are the sweetest to hear when you talk of them, the other side, when you have succeeded. Now, mimi kwangu, when we started this, when I stepped out of my job, when my job came to an end, I didn't quit my job. I was retrenched. And you know, normally when you are retrenched, you are given a handshake. Your handshake ndio ilinipea moyo sana, because nilikuwa najua niko na wakati wa kufikiria kabla nikuwe broke. Kwa hivyo kama uko na handshake, unakulia miezi kadhaa kabla uanze kufirisika, ikanipea nafasi ya kufikiria how can I deal with this whole thing. Na honestly, Mungu akikupangia kitu, probably because nilikuwa naifanya mpaka bwanangu ananiuliza, wewe unatoa pesa ya wapi ya kupikia watu simu kila saa Kenya? Because nilikuwa napiga siku ya kuku na hizi ma WhatsApp, tulikuwa tunapiga simu, unalipa bei ingine hapo hata utaki kusema ni gani. Unajaribu different networks, lakini because you really want to talk to this parent, kumwambia wewe tuma hizo documents kwa email, unapiga kamoja, unachapwa kiboko mzuri sana ya simu. Telephone was very expensive, and I remember my husband sometimes wondering, where do you get, or how do you manage to talk to Kenya? Because I never, he used to call, probably he used to call Kenya once a month. Me, I talk to Kenya every once in a while. Unasikia naongea na kama mtu uko kwa bedroom na mjaribu kumwambia fanya haraka wewe. I think it is from the heart. That time I was just helping. I wasn't doing a business. It was not in options. It was me as just because of the opportunities which I keep seeing here. Now, watoto wangu back in the days, they were in the university when we were starting. The firstborn and the secondborn were both in uni, or they were studying their tertiary education. One of them was in the university, or the other one alikuwa anafanya diploma. Sasa hao unajua hata utaki kuambia nini unafanya back in the day. Lakini juu tulibebana sisi wote tukaenda Kenya kulaunch kampuni pamoja. Tulienda sisi wote mpaka mzee, tukafunga kazi, tukafanya holiday moja mpaka Kenya. That was in 2009, December in 2009. That's where we spent our Christmas. Lakini hiyo Christmas, I can't remember Christmas. I just remember thinking of which people I'm gonna see, register a company. Tukaregister kampuni. Ikakuwa sasa hata mimi nimebidi sasa nitakaa kidogo, hawa warudi, wengine warudi shule. Lakini kitu kimoja kuanzia pale mwanzoni hapo nilichapwa kiboko, because ile kampuni tuliregister, saa ile nilienda kufungua bank, nikapata hata mwenye aliniregistia kampuni alikula pesa yangu hapo register kampuni, haiko kwa sheria house. Sasa ikabidi sasa niongeze wakati ni register hii kampuni sasa legally. Kwa hivyo labda ule wakili nitumia alipatia mtu wa back office, akaenda River Road akaniletea certificate, story ikaishia hapo. But you know, the bank will know when they are doing the search. Sasa kikaumana wakati huo. Na let me tell you, everything you do, if you are determined to do, nothing stops you. I think that's one of the things I've learned in life. When things come against you, they try to block you. That is the time you need to wake up and say, yes, this is not what I want. And I didn't want a fake registration. I have to do a correct registration. Sasa, from there, my kids were very young. You had asked whether my kids helped me. But with time, one of the boys who started to be a geologist, he worked as a geologist for 8 years. But after that, he came and joined Options. Today, he is the country manager, Options Education Australia branch. His name is Meria, and he's one of the key people whom we work with here in Adelaide. I think Jose will tell you he's his friend. They know each other very well. The other one who is in hospitality, he did hotel management. He did up to master's level, where he penye anafanya kazi ya mahoteli, alikuwa anafanya na Intercon. Tulimuomba akuja atusaidie pia kama anataka, lakini na wasiwasi kiasi because hujui kama utaweza kumlipa. Lakini alipoingia nikumwambia sasa wewe ni utafute kazi, ni uchape kazi. Hii kazi tu ndio inaweza lipa wewe, sio mimi. Na with time, hata yeye amependa hii kazi sana, hata ameenda even ahead of us. Amefanya Australia Migration Law, sasa anatusaidia as a company. He's our operations manager, and he's able to train the rest of the team all the way from Africa to Philippines to Australia. He is based in our Perth office. So ukisikia kuna hii extension ya Uasin Gishu iko Perth, ako huko ndani. Yeye ni mmoja wao. Sasa we have 2 branches here in Australia. Tuko na hiyo ya Perth na tuko na hii hapa Adelaide. So I would say my family has been very, very instrumental and helpful. My husband has been also the back office. He helps a lot where we need some muscular power to move things or to fix things. But clearly he still follows up. He's still on his, he hasn't moved to Options fully or like the boys have. But otherwise we are still wooing him to see whether he can step here with both legs and without subdividing himself. But otherwise, he is there for us. He's very, very supportive, and he supports the family when I travel, because I used to travel a lot before COVID. So it's a family. It's become a family affair, which I'm so grateful, because Very soon utaniona nikitembea huko mastriti za Marekani na wherever as a proud retired shosho. I'm a grandma of 3 boys. So I have my first lot of 3 boys, and now I have 3 grandsons. I'm blessed.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Helen. And what can you tell your team, the team that is here with us? What can you tell them?
Now, the team
to add to that, before you respond, Helen, I guess I saw here you have a lot of ladies. So is that like something you do like purposely, or like how diverse is your team in terms of gender? And thank you for having so many ladies today.
Oh,
I'm glad to see that.
I'm a mother of boys. I'm a grandmother of boys. I think the only way I can reach to ladies is when I bring them closer to me to work with me and to support the girl child. Otherwise, I'll be so surrounded with boys from left, right, and center, from my house to the office. But clearly, so part of the reason we have ladies is, I think it's very coincidental, to be very honest. I wouldn't say I've ever turned any boy away when I really want a girl, but prior to these ladies you see in auctions, because I do have quite a number of ladies, there's a time I used to have quite a number of boys. One by one, I think they all are very ambitious. They stick 1 foot out, 1 foot in, and when you don't have the full strength, when you don't take ownership of a job, chances are that you will not go very far. And I have seen the ladies we work with, the ladies we started with are the same ladies whom we started with. I think I've changed a few. People I've had a bit of turnover in the office, and mainly, I think it has happened more on the boys' side. So now as we speak, we had a country manager who was our branch manager in Eldoret was a lady from the born and bred there. Now we do have Davis, who used to work with her. So it's not, I think it's very coincidental, but honestly, I don't regret. I am very proud of that, because I'm a lady myself, and probably it's much easier to think of how women think. I think we are very fast thinkers. Let's clap for ourselves. We are fast thinkers, and we don't have too much protocols. Sometimes we can just talk in the middle of the night and we still make things happen. And I honestly do try to bring the gender. I'm very gender sensitive, and that's why even in our Kampala office is headed by a gentleman. His name is Ali. In Nairobi, we have 2 gentlemen. Eldoret, we have another gentleman, and we try and hire more, but still, ladies, we have to do the numbers. I'm sorry, Jared, for that. Maybe you are one of the fighters for the boy child. I'm very sorry.
I try to balance, but
I love the boy child. Like I'm telling you, I have boys. I'm the only girl in the house. Of course, now I have 2 daughters-in-law, which is beautiful. I get them when they are grown up, like my staff. And I don't know how to look after very young girls. So probably that's why I keep getting boys in the family. But I'm so proud of the boys in the house. So thank you so much, Obiri. You know very well how much we value you. And we do have others as well. And the girls in the house, obviously, I think you win in numbers tonight. Next time I'll try and balance. In the program.
Asante, Ms. Helen, and I truly appreciate. I usually tell people that men see the forest while women see trees in the forest. Oh. That is why ukiuliza, you know, a lady will tell you, niliamuka asubuhi nikakunywa chai, nikakula na mkate, nikaenda nikakula hii lunch, and then nikafika ofisi nikasumbuliwa kidogo. Wakiuliza mjamaa, how was your day? Anasema it was fine. So we see the forest, women see trees in the forest, or they see every tree in the forest. So tukirudi back to you, back to you, my sister Helen. What message would you share with our followers when you're wametufuata? Sana sana, wanafunzi, parents, and even leaders, kwa sababu Kenya, as we know, based on what you told us earlier on, wanafunzi wakikuja huko wamekazana, wamesoma, wamepata kibarua, wanaanza kutuma pesa nyumbani. Huko nyumbani, watu wanamaliza shule, still unamaliza university, there are no jobs, unemployment is over 40%. What would you tell our leaders so that they can create, they can make a smaller Australia in Kenya also, or make Kenya to be like Australia, because you say it is possible, and we all believe it is possible? What message would you share with students, parents, and obviously leaders when you want to fuata kwa hii program, Helen?
One of the messages I would share, especially with
in addition, so that once she will answer all of them, and there is a lot of people here, majority of them, they are in different parts of the country. We have a lot of followers in Doha, Qatar, some are in Dubai, some are in all parts of Asia, and they say, how can we reach to Australia? Give them up. The majority of them, they are in Dubai and they want to cross. Where will they start? So they need to hear that. And then we have our friends as well. They are in UK. All of them, they are working there, and they say, how is it possible for Mama and the Optiven crew probably to move from UK to Australia without coming back to Kenya? And then they start applying because they fear to exceed where they are. They want to cross directly from those sites to Australia. And then majority of people are following here, and they say majority of them, they are worried about the cost. They say the cost of coming to Australia is too high. What can we do? So what's your message? I think those are the basic questions that they keep popping up from this other end. Others is maybe others again. Balozi mentioned about leaders. Maybe there is leaders and there is leaders of church. So talk to them as well, who are in church before Jesus come. They can speak about living or going outside, because they have a platform and they have a lot of followers, and majority of people who are there, most of them, they are finished school. Kila kitu ni kulialia nduru tu mama. So and they need options as well. So
I think one of the things I would say is I would address to the parents first. I can see it was a whole list of different people I need to answer their concerns. Starting with the parents and students. One of the things I would tell the parents is, because students can never bring themselves here. A lot of them, they need the support of their parents. You as a parent, ile pesa kidogo umejiwekea, ile pesa umeweka mahali unataka kwenda kununua kale ka plot mahali, the best investment, ile investment ya number 1 yenye unaweza jisaidia na usaidie hata wale watoto wengine wako nyumbani, ni kuchukua yule mmoja mwenye unajua huyu hata ni let down, huyu ni bidii, aingie utafute hiyo pesa umlete hapa Australia, na akifika huku atapatana na wengine wengi kama yeye. Ile kitu inatufurahisha sana we as Options ni wakati tumeleta watoto kutoka village. Sana sijui ni vile kama mimi nilikwambia story yangu, mimi nililelewa kwa village na nimeona watu wakilala njaa, nimeona wengine wakienda kulima ili wapate pesa ya kununua food. Nimeona wengine wanaenda bila viatu, na hata sisi tulikuwa hatuvai viatu wakati huo, lakini wengine hata wakitaka kuvaa hata Sunday hawangeweza kuafford. Ila kitu ya kwanza ni kwamba kama unaweza chukua huyo mtoto mmoja mwenye utaleta hapa, akuje hapa afanye kazi na bidii, ile pesa umetumia na huyo mtoto, hata kama ni $1,000,000 imeisha ama 2, because there is a whole range. Nitawaongelesha about the cost of the programs, lakini kabla tufike hapo, tuseme umespend $1,500,000 kuleta huyo mtoto wako hapa. Hiyo pesa yako umefanya ile kazi kubwa kushinda kujenga nyumba ya ghorofa mahali, because hakuna nyumba utajenga na $1,000,000 number 1. Utanunua uwanja ikae hapo, ikae mpaka ati ipande siku moja uuze. Na nikwambie ukweli, hiyo investment umeweka kwa huyo mtoto, utapata mtoto amekuja hapa. Wengi wanakuja wanasoma, wanamaliza, wanagraduate, wanakulipia wewe tikiti ukuje graduation. Tumejionea wazazi wengi sana hapa, tunafurahi kuona watu hakuna siku waliota siku moja wanaweza panda ndege. Unasikia experience zao, unasikia kucheka. Because kila mtu anaingia ndege anapata dunia ingine. Hiyo ni dunia ingine. Kama wewe ni mzazi unaona ndege tu angani, na siku moja mtoto akupigie simu akwambie nimelipa ndege, enda options, pata Viola hapo ama Millicent ama Grace, watakusaidia kupata visa. Nimeongea na wao, kuja pata visa, unaenda siku fulani unapanda ndege unakuja graduation hapa. Hiyo ndio ningeambia kila mzazi ajaribu hiyo ikue dream yake. Huyo mtoto ulimleta hapa na shida, ukimtafutia yeye ndiye sasa anakulipia mpaka ile ndege. Ukifika hapa unapata huu kijana ama msichana haishi ile maisha ya kawaida. Anakwambia kwanza, baba mama ingia kwa gari nikuzungusha Australia ujione. Wewe unasikia this is my mom from the village. Sasa nimemweka kwa gari, nataka sasa atembelee marafiki zangu wenye tulikuwa tunasoma na wao. Unaenda mahali unaongea ile lugha ya nyumbani because tumejaa huku. Wewe kama mzazi, wale wazazi nimekutana nao because tunakutana nao hata na waalika huku kwangu na waambia letani wazazi tuonane, na wanafurahi sana, wanasema kitu kimoja wote. Hii dunia ni kama tu kule kwetu. Isipokuwa ile maneno iko huku ni ya juu because hata barabara kuna kila kitu hapa inawashtua. Huyo mzazi akitoka hapa analeta ule mtoto mwingine, hata wananiongelesha about mtoto mwingine when they are still here. That is why ukiangalia wale watu wamekuja hapa, hakuna mmoja amekuja akanyamaza kama akona ndugu yake mdogo. Sasa kama uko na watoto watatu, au watoto watatu wavurutane mkono one after the other, na unajua wa pili akija hakuna shamba utauza. Huyu ulileta kwanza ndiye anakuambia haraka haraka, fanya haraka mam, hata fees nisha save. Unaenda unaleta huyu mwingine naye anakanyanga huku. Unakuwa na wangapi? Wawili. Hata kama ulikuwa na ng'ombe utauza because ni za kazi gani zinakukulia wakati huo? Kazi gani? Una shida ya kutafuta, wewe uko sawa, pesa inatoka uko juu. Hata kama ni nyumba ulikuwa unakaa nyumba ya mbao, watu wataanza kuona lori za mawe zikimwaga mawe kwako. Juzi nilitumiwa picha na msichana mmoja alikuja hapa, alijengea mama yake, aliniambia nataka kuona baba yake akiishi nyumba ya mawe. Juu hiyo ni kitu kimoja alikuwa naomba kila siku. Huyo msichana ni nurse, alimaliza kwa muda kidogo. Amejenga nyumba moja ilifunguliwa na governor mwenyewe. Kulikuwa na karamu kubwa, hata alikuwa ananionyesha ma videos, mimi nikashtuka. Ananionyesha nyumba, naangalia kitchen, namuuliza huku ni wapi? Ni nyumbani. Watu wanashtuka. Mimi hiyo kitchen mpaka sasa hata mimi inanishtua because ni kitchen kama tu ile ya huku kwetu. Hizi ma kitchen tunajionea huku ma Westlands ama Kilimani ama Lavington. Iko mahali huko sijui ni kunaitwa Kapsabet ama ni wapi, kwa huyo msichana amejenga nyumba moja, ameweka furniture ya ukoo huko ndani. Hebu niambie, kama huyo msichana angesapotiwa na wazazi wake, angekuwa tu bado huko wanaombana chakula. Huyu msichana alikuja na watoto wake, hata mwingine amemaliza high school. I'm telling you this is the way. Na wakija hapa kila mtu amefungukiwa na njia. Wale watoto wamejengea wazazi wao kutoka hapa, na zile manyumba wanaezeka huko nyumbani. I think I'll start taking photos. We need to do a documentary of homes kujengwa na wale watoto wamemaliza Australia. Kama ni engineer, mtu anamaliza amepata job kubwa na serikali, kitu ya kwanza anafikiria ni my parents, na si nyumba yake, ya wazazi wake. Na kwa hivyo what ningetaka kuambia wazazi, invest on your children na usiwe na wasiwasi. Niachie hiyo ingine. Akifika huku, sisi ni kazi yetu kumwangalia, kumshika mkono, na anashikana mkono, anapata wengine huku alishika mbele yake. Anasikia huyu anaendesha hii gari, huyu anaenda kazi hasomi, alimaliza masomo. Hata mimi kwa hivyo naweza maliza. Alafu ukienda kidogo unasikia amepewa citizenship. Australia ni country moja iko very generous with its citizenship, with its permanent residence to students wenye wamemaliza shule huku. Mkimaliza shule, serikali inataka kuwaweka. Wenye wanataka kurudi Kenya, tunawatakia mema zaidi. Warudi huko, wapeleke ile maneno wamelani huku wapeleke huko Kenya, tupate angalau leaders who understand that things can change. For us people who have lived here na wale wameishi ngambo huko Marekani, I think mmeona systems ni kufuatilia tu sheria, hakuna kitu kingine, na ku make sure there is no corruption. As long as there is no corruption, pesa ya umma inaingia kwa kazi ya umma. Barabara sijui ni wapi kungekuwa na potholes anywhere, ni kuanya, all the money we have, all the taxpayers money, if they can go to the right direction, I think we have even us in our countries, we can be like the first world. And I still believe ila siku tutapata that patriotism ya kujua, see, it's not about yourself, it's about the country where you live. Hapo ndio tutajua hata country zetu mahali tumetoka, na tumetoka country mingi hapa Australia, wa Afrika ni wa kutoka different countries, ndio tutajua kweli that patriotism. Now the young generation, I think it's heading there. I think it's doable. Sahi nikija Nairobi, it's not the Nairobi I left. I left Nairobi when it had so only a few roads, it was all congested. Sasa ninasikia barabara zinapitia huko juu. I can't wait to come back and see the flying roads, the flyovers all over the place. And I think everything is doable. The other thing I wanted to tell the leaders is they can help their own people to access Australia education, because one of the biggest problems we have ni ile kitu inaitwa bank statement. Kama a certain, tuseme accounting government inaweza sema itasimamia watoto waje wasome huku, lakini wasikizane na wazazi wao vile watalipishana hiyo pesa. I think it is something tunaweza jaribu, tuone kama tunaweza saidiana na hii serikali ya county governments, kusaidia wale watoto wenye wamemaliza high school, wenye wanakuja kusomea huku, ama wale wamemaliza university wanakuja masters, tuone vile tunaweza saidiana na wazazi, because ukiambiwa utafute bank statement ya 3 milioni ama 4 milioni, sometimes inakuwa ngumu. Lakini kama mheshimiwa hapa balozi, wewe umefanya a lot of hizo scholarships, hata kama ni za kutoka Kenya, zenye kuna kampuni zinataka kusaidia watoto kuja kusoma huku. We would appreciate if you can chip in into our knowledge, how to go about this, how we can access some of those scholarships from the Kenya government or from different organizations, and then we can be able to help them access the education system that we have here and access the opportunities more than anything else, not even education. Remember, our education in Kenya is top of the range. Our Kenyan education is respected in all countries we work with. Australia respects Kenyan education 100%. Ukimaliza degree yako ya Kenya ya BCom ama ya engineering ama ya nini, ukikuja hapa hutakuja kurudi nyuma, utakuja kuendelea. Hata KCSE ukimaliza hurudishwi nyuma, you are taken like umemaliza 12 years of high school, of schooling, and so you go straight to the tertiary education. So kumalizia ningetaka kusema kwa wale watu wenye wako Canada, wengine nimeambiwa wako Dubai, wengine nimesikia wako Marekani na wanataka kuja Australia, options works globally. We are a global company. We don't have to touch you to come here. We only need to know you want to come here. All we need to see is your documents, your certified documents, and wherever you are. We have so many students from Dubai, Bwana Hosea. Wanafunzi ile kitu tunataka kutoka kwao tu ni KCSE certificate, degree certificate kama wako nayo, alafu watuambie wanafanya kazi gani, watupatie their CV, and we are able to package something for them. Au tuna launch visa zao, sana sana tunawaambia warudi Kenya, to launch visa zao na South Africa, because tukizilaunch na Dubai, mara nyingi sana nikaa watu waelewi wa Afrika ni watu gani, lakini tukizipeleka South Africa, huko wanapata wenye wamezoea wa Kenya. Bora unaonyesha we umetoka Dubai, umefanya kazi miaka hii, so we advise, it's not a must. If you insist, we will launch the visa where you are. Lakini usipo insist, tutakwambia ukuje Kenya ulaunch visa yako Nairobi, ushikane na wenzako. Tumelaunchia kijana moja visa in Greece. Alikuwa anaishi Greece. Tukailaunch. We just launch it online, easy. Lakini when we launched that visa, huyo kijana alinyimwa hiyo visa. Aliambiwa wewe huwezi afford kukaa ng'ambo. Inaonekana wewe unatorokea mashida ya kwenu huko Kenya. Sasa unashindwa. Kwa nini huyu case officer aliambia huyu kijana namna hii? So kijana nikamwambia sasa jipange turudi Nairobi, tu launch hii visa na wale watu wanatujua. Ku launch visa na South Africa, actually by the time he was boarding his flight back to Greece, alipata simu anaambiwa na counselor, your visa has been granted. Na alikuja tu for 3 weeks peke yake. Kwa hivyo we normally advise it's better but not a must. We can launch a visa from anywhere. Hata kama uko Marekani, tuta launch visa yako huko, because we can't launch your visa with South Africa when you are in America, because that's where you do your it's called biometrics. There's something called biometrics. Where you do your biometrics is where you do your visa. And if your biometrics are in America, you do it in America. If unataka kuja Kenya, kuja fanya biometrics zako pale Westlands, sikuisi hata si Westlands, ni Ngingiri, kuja ufanya your biometrics, alafu uingie kwa mchujo kama wale wengine wenzako. Mko wengi. Lakini ukienda mahali wewe ndio Mkenya peke yako, utaanza kuulizwa, hai, huyu naye Kenya iko wapi? Do you know there are people who don't know Kenya is in Africa? It's not so obvious that people know where Kenya is. So get back to our home country if possible. If it's not possible, we can still launch your visa from wherever you are in the world. And finally, there is a question about the costs. I have good news. This good news, you are the first one to hear. Even our counselors, they don't know about it. Even Grace mwenyewe hajui. Kwa hivyo, the good news is we are launching a package. We are calling it a budget program. We are calling it a budget package. Na hii budget, tunataka sana sana wale watoto wamemaliza KCSE, wale wamemaliza high school. Hii program tunataka kuijaribu because kuna siku tulikuwa tunatafutia wanafunzi wengi sana waingie diploma courses, and every one time we would have like 50 students in our pipeline. Wengine wanaenda kufanya diploma kama 20 ni diploma, na kama 30 wanaenda kufanya degree. Wa degree wote wanapata mavisa, au wa diploma wanabaki hapo. Tunaanzia another mstari ya watu wote wanapata visa, wa diploma wanakaa hapo tu, hujui watapewa visa ama hawatapewa. Alafu wanaanza kupewa marefusal, unakaa unasikia mmoja amepewa visa. So it used to be a very slow process. Kwa hivyo tukastop kidogo. Siku hizi we don't encourage people kuchukua hizo diploma, but because the way things are going, sasa as we speak to you, Australia is running very behind with international students. We need a lot of international students more than ever before. And let me tell you what, visas have never been so quick. I think my counselors will agree with me. Siku hizi unakaa tu unaona visa grant tu ina pop up in your email system, because Australia it's in the process of regaining back the number of international students. International students are not here just to study. They also provide a big labor force to the small businesses like hotels, like restaurants, like supermarkets, like nursing homes, like name it. Sasa, without those international students, mliona ile announcement ilipeanwa leo that international students have been allowed to work unlimited hours. They can now work for 40 hours a week. Unlike before, when they were told mfanya tu 20 hours a week. Sasa wameongezewa. Kwa nini? Because there's a shortage. Sasa Wakenya wenzangu, wazazi wenzangu, kuna hii program tunataka, na hii ni kujaribu. Na hata isipofanya kazi hakuna pesa mingi utapoteza. But the beauty is, it's a very cheap one. Tunataka kujaribu wanafunzi wale wamemaliza KCSE, tujaribu tuone kama tunaweza waingiza kwa diploma courses. Na hizi diploma courses, tuko na college 3 huko Perth, na zingine 3 hapa Adelaide. Sana sana tutawapeleka Perth na Adelaide because tunataka mahali tunaweza wachunga, hawa ni watoto wadogo, na tena wanakuja kuingia diplomas. Hii diploma inaweza kuwa diploma of nursing. Kama wewe ni mwerevu sana kwa Kizungu, enda ufanya hiyo Kizungu. Ongea na Grace ama any of our offices. Fanya hiyo Kizungu upate the top range. It has to be 7 in every band. Ama 65% if it's the other type of English. It's a whole story about English. It's a whole lesson by itself. So what we want to do, we want with these diploma courses, tunataka kutafuta program yenye haitatulipisha pesa mingi. Hii ni kumaanisha degree course, kila mwanafunzi anajua analipa kama 1.2 million kupata hiyo COE. Hii tunataka tuiwache mahali mwenye mwanafunzi mwenyewe atalipia kitu kama 1400 to 500. Na ukiwa na 100 zako 4 zimeshikana to 500, because it will depend on different courses. Kama ni nursing program, it might be more costly. Inaweza enda mpaka 700,000. Lakini tukianza hii diploma ingine kama hospitality, tuingie hospitality, diploma zingine zinaitwa kama diploma ya remedial massage, inaweza kuwa diploma ya cookery, ama commercial cookery. If we are going to go with those diplomas, our wanafunzi tutaweza kuwatoa from their home countries, wakanyange huku na hizo diploma cheap hivyo. Before they know it, tunawaonyesha vile kufanya kazi, mtu kufanya kazi, ili aanze kujishidia pesa hata ya kulipa balance ya diploma. Na not just that, pesa aanze kusave pesa ya kwenda uni, because in Australia if you want to excel, you must do a degree. Lakini ukikaa hapa miaka 2, hata Jose atakwambia you can afford to pay for your own university studies, because saa hiyo wewe ni mwerevu, wewe ni mtu mzima na umepata diploma, hata utapata credits huko kwa uni kama utaenda kufanya the same program. So hii ni kitu tunataka ku launch sasa, na tunataka ianzie na tunataka ianzie na hii mwaka, so that by July tunaweza pata wanafunzi wakipandishwa ndege huko. We want the pilot program, we are going to take about 100 students. Juu unajua diploma tunaoga sana, tunaona kama tunaweza enda hivyo capsize, because watu sometimes wanaona nikaa hawa watoto, lakini because they are young kids, they will be fine. We are very positive they will be fine, as long as we launch their case and we bring their case package their case very well, to show they are straight from high school, they are coming here now to further their education. You know, when you are straight from high school, you can do a diploma. Si kama mtu amekaa nyumbani miaka 10 alafu atuambia anataka kufanya diploma, huyo hakuna mtu atamsikiza. Lakini kama umemaliza tu shule, unakuja fanya ka diploma kako, and then from there jump, now you can do your degree. We have so many students who have succeeded that way before the system came to be very tight on diplomas. Now we need students here. We need international students in Australia. Visas have never been so easy. This is the time to spare that $500,000 and see kama unaweza leta mtoto mmoja peke yake, na siku moja utanikumbuka. Asante sana.
Asante sana, Madam O, as that's the name now, nita adopt. And nilikuwa tuna one question, and I'll try to play the devil's advocate here. And so and even me, I'm a victim of this. As we work on these programs to go abroad, tunaona a lot of brain drain in a way, and a lot of our human resource being taken away from home instead of using it to build and develop our own country. So what can you say about that, Madam? I know you have a lot of experience, and it's a question that I am constantly thinking about too. And the reason I ask this is because our leaders, in some way, they have used this as a way to just say tokeni outside the country instead of making things better at home. So what can you say about that? And also for Millicent, I wanted to hear from you about your experience, since we heard from everyone else. And what can you tell some of the applicants? Kama kuna mtu ameona, maybe nimekaa for long, najua nimesikiza the program, nikaona nikasema it's best for those who are like right out of college. And also if Grace has anything to say about it, or anyone else, they can add. If somebody has stayed, maybe due to whatever challenges, or they didn't know about the program, or they didn't know about the opportunities, is that it for them, or they still have a chance? Karibu.
And then maybe I can add one more, and then Mama and Millicent wakijibu. Since pandemic, wakati corona imefika, ikaita sana, a lot of things imeendelea, if ukienda uko village, a lot of probably there is a lot of wasichana maybe wamepata watu wengi and they no longer have ukiwaongelesha kila wakati wanatuliza what next, we no longer have future, the only thing they can do ni kuolewa, wapate wasee, waendelee na maisha ya mashinani, na these are people just wamemaliza shule. Another question is uongeleshe pia watu wenye uko mashinani penye tunatoka, always after high school ama after uni ni kupata bibi, kuoa, kuanzisha maisha. So ukitaka kuongelea process ya kwenda outside the country, you are newly married, unawajia nani bibi, na unaanza kwanza maisha. So talk to them if there is any options that for them enye wako mashinani wakuje upande huu, kwa sababu hii ni ile kwa just mama, if there is those avenues. Another thing is majority of questions in a book. Engineer, you can go ahead and then I can speak.
No, I just wanted to add to your question. Kwa wenye wame lose hope, is there, I guess, an avenue for parents with children? Ama tuni, unajua, do I have to be single and how that process is? Go ahead with your question, Osea, alafu atajibu yote.
Yeah, asante engineer. Another question is, majority of people, unapata, if you go even to my village, unapata majority of guys, they are finished universities, na wanafanya ile kazi yangu, my first, ile tuko vile na already wamemaliza universities. And if 80% for them now, ukiwaambia the process and everything, wanafikiria coding yako ilikuwa ngumu au kutoka, and the cost and everything, it's at least you have told us about this diploma program. What's your best advice for those people as we speak already wakona their degrees, wengine wameenda masters, na wakiona it is very difficult to manage these other things here, kukuja other thing. Another thing ni question kwa kufika huko. Saa zingine mtu anaweza land na maneno inaweza umana, mtu anaingia chini ya maji. So upowapatie matumaini watu yenye, I was among nilikuwa chini ya maji for some time. Wakati nilifika huku, but later on through the option nikarudi kwa reli, mama huo akaniturudisha kwa laini, tukaendelea kwa sababu chini ya maji yetu, hesabu yetu ilikuwa inaelekea kufika mwisho. So talk to them wenye wako huku pia, the importance of kutoka kwa chini ya maji for a long time, because it's a way of, we really need that a success story for everyone mwenye amefika kwa huko na pia mwenye amefika huku. So mama
Osea, unajua ukisema chini ya maji sasa ni kuenda wapi? What do you mean by saying ulienda chini ya maji? So it's good to fafanua. And then number 2, mi naona Osea unaogopa ukisema ile kazi yangu. So kazi ya Osea huko nyumbani ilikuwa ni boda. In other words, you're saying mtu anamaliza university alafu because there are no jobs wanaenda kufanya boda. So I'm not saying that boda is a bad job. It's a good job if you plan yourself. And then Osea unaogopa kusema wewe ulikuwa a proud boda rider. So endelea mama.
Thank you very much. I think I've had a whole list of questions, and I think I will allocate them to my team, some of who are quite experienced doing some of the things. And maybe I'll start one about the brain drain.
Sorry? Mama, you can add. Kuna majority ya watu wenye wanapasi mama wao ni mkali. So in case ya kwa friend mama wao so
mama wao ni mkali.
Yes.
Wow. It's good to know that. It's good to be honest. Now, wacha nianzie na hiyo ndio itakuwa ya mwisho. Juu lazima nigonge watu vichwa kabla nitoke kwa hii hii brain drain yenye tumeongeleshwa hapa na engineer. Anasema Kenya, sometimes people perceive going abroad like we are removing the cream of our country to go and spend after Kenya has educated them and all these things. One thing I wanted to tell you, Madam Engineer, is that some of the reactions of the labor market and the movement of people are quite natural. Nobody even pushes them. For example, when there are no jobs, what do you expect? When you tell me the unemployment rate, you are talking of 40%, ama wale wasio hawana kazi, watu 40 out of 100 are jobless. Alafu ukija Australia unasikia ni watu 2 kwa 100 wenye hawako kazi, na wengine ni kuchagua kutofanya kazi, ni kuchagua kazi. Wetu hiyo 40% sio kukosa kuchagua, sio kuchagua kazi, hakuna kazi. Na even the 60% which is employed is underpaid, because hata zile job wanafanya zingine wanalipwa far much less than what the labor market or what they are trained to do. So what does that mean? Watu watatafutilia, it will be a natural process. It will be just a natural process. Utasikia walimu wamemaliza madigrii zao za walimu, wameenda kusomesha Dubai. Utasikiza maengineer wamemaliza, wamepata kazi huko Saudi Arabia. Utasikia managers wamemaliza, wote wameelekea UK ama wako Canada. It is just a process, a very natural process. And how to control that? Hiyo tu ni sisi wenyewe wenye tumeshikilia tumeshikilia serikali, ndio sisi tu wenyewe tunaweza pangisha, so that in future we don't lose our trained personnel. They can get jobs here by creating more employment. One of the ways to create those employment is to make sure even small businesses can coexist with the big businesses. Kwa mfano sasa ukianza kabiashara kako, utapata mtu amekusimamia hapo asubuhi ukiamka anakuambia hujaweka license, na labda hata hukuwa na bus fare, hata hukuwa na lunch, na sasa mtu anataka ngiri yako ama 2 ili afanye kazi kake kakushona ama kuuza manguo, na huyo labda ni graduate mzima amesomea Moi University. Sasa anajaribu tu make ends meet, anatumia akili zake, lakini hatumruhusu. So sasa sisi wenye tumeshikilia uongozi, sisi ndio tu tunaweza help our small businesses. I've learned a lot with this Australia, that small businesses is the government like backbone. Wanaangaliwa kama watoto wandogo. Usijaribu kucheza na mtu mwenye anaanza kabiashara kake, because huyo mtu anajilisha, hasumbui serikali. Huyo mtu anaweza hata ajiri mtu mmoja peke yake. Meaning, if you have 1,000 small businesses, you have 1,000 people in employment, and you have 1,000 people self-employed. What does that mean? And then when you keep harassing these people, hata mtu hawezi fanya kitu ati hajalipia license, na ni saloon, ni kasichana kalianza kakazi kakushuka watoto nywele, watu nywele, unasikia hapana hatujalipia license, kanjo imetusumbua hata hatuwezi. Until we learn some of these things, the importance of those things, we are going to keep having jobless people, we are going to keep having people who are miserable, and the only way out is to exit. Unasikia sasa tunaambiwa tuko majuu, hata huku sijui kunaitwa majuu kwa nini, ila kazi iko huku. Ni jina tu. Ukiingia hapa kazi unachapa kweli. Na hata hakuna, hata nakwambia hata ukirudi Kenya unafurahia wa Kenya, because huko hata unakaa relax kiasi. Huku mtu ana relax saa ngapi? Wewe ndiye maid, hakuna maid wa kukupikia. Hapa unajipikia. But why can't you have a maid? Because you can't afford to put a maid in your house. In Kenya, we pride that we have maids in the house. Do you know that is human slavery, self-slavery within our own country, where you put someone in your house and you pay them 2,000, 3,000, na unaligaringa ati mimi niko na mfanyi. Why are you proud of having someone's child to look after you, to wash your clothes, instead of letting that child fly like any other? Now, in first world, you will never have that. Afadhali ya watu wote walishwa na serikali, and that is why serikali really loves small businesses. Hata kama ni saloon, wacha huyo msichana akajiwekea saloon badala ya kukuwa maid ya mtu. But I don't know who will ever teach these equations to people. For example, during the COVID options, we were attacked that we have not paid some other very big, some things which used to be called, I think it's something that is usually paid by international, by universities. Sasa mimi nashindwa, kama University of Nairobi tunalinganishwa na University of Nairobi kama hawajalipa kitu. It's not small money. Hata wachana na options this we can pay. We have been in business for long enough. Can you imagine that other small company which started recruiting a student to take overseas, and they are told to pay the same fees that option pays, that University of Nairobi pays, And you don't want to allow them. And this is COVID here. You don't even take anybody anywhere. We didn't even have to have one single student flying to any country, to any of our Australian shows, because of the way things were. The Australian government, this side, it's helping each and every of its citizens to survive. But then go back in Kenya, somebody has almost come to the office to lock the office. And we have already locked because there is COVID. There is people are working from home. And someone else is banging the same office and telling us, we will never open this office. I'm gonna lock them forever. And I'm like, it's like you're operating in two different ones. So to answer your question, engineer, I think we as the leaders, we as the people in the leadership, we need to support each and every creativity that comes within our young people without harassing them with unnecessary fees. Unnecessary, and you know these fees, it's not about the fees, it's about the guy who stands next to you asking you for that fee, anataka lunch. Anakwambia hiyo ofisi nitafunga, hebu niachie sotano, ama ulipe hiyo ngiri tano, kesho usipolipa, you know? We have seen these things happening, and it's like giving people the mandate to make money out of others. Why wouldn't we have unemployment? So when you see people moving from Kenya to Dubai to wherever, it's actually a natural process of reacting to a situation which nobody hates their own country. Even as we all know, I'm almost ready to retire and go back home because I think there's something at home which I can't get here. My fabric, my gene, my everything is Kenyan. Is Kenyan. Every vein in my body is Kenyan. And I feel good if I can go back to Kenya and now talk to Kenyans, like one of the people who have been in the system here, have been in another system. And I wish every leader, every person can understand the importance of supporting the youngsters who are going to look for different jobs. Hata kama ni boda boda, ataambiwa hajalipia license. Na ni mahali tu anaenda anatoa pesa kidogo analipia mtoto wake shule. So what happens akinyimwa hiyo license? Hata huyo mtoto wake hatasoma. And nobody wants to go to look at that spiral effect. So, okay, I hope I have answered your question about, and I never look at it as a brain drain. I look at it as an opportunity. It's in search of greener pastures. A lot of those people who go overseas to work, they all say one reason why they do it. I don't have a job. If you don't have a job, surely, hata kama umeambiwa unaenda kule Pakistan, utajipata huko ndani, uking'ang'ana na nini za huko. Hata Somali, I have people who work in Somali from Kenya. And sometimes you wonder, how would I go to work? You think it's risky. When it comes to jobs, you can go and work anywhere. And because we still have a lot of unemployed people, can we absorb those ones before we talk of brain drain? Can we absorb all the engineers who are looking for jobs in Kenya? Can we absorb all those nurses? They are jobless. Teachers, they are 3 years, they have never gotten a job. Can we absorb them before we say they are running anywhere? Because until we are able to absorb our own and put them in the correct positions, where people don't go looking for shoddy jobs to survive, a graduate from University of Nairobi, looking for a job where they are paid 12,000, 15,000 a month, and they call it a job because they have no other. It's really sad. It's a very sad thing. And that's one of the things I really wish and pray that you'll be able to overcome one day, so that people can value their own mother countries because they can get what they worked so hard for, what they worked so hard to train in, and eventually they can see the fruits of their hard work. And some of us, we were educated a long time before when joblessness was not that bad, and somehow we managed to cover our ways until we got to jobs where we never thought we would leave the country. But eventually, I think, like I told you, for me, it was more of an adventure and an opportunity for our children who are heading to study further studies soon later. And probably that was our driving factor. But for now, I think a lot of young people do move in search of basic needs, a job. Now, the other thing I wanted to ask, I don't know what Jose wanted to know about the pandemic, but I would think I'll leave that one, Grace, to address the pandemic situation we have been in and how we have managed to navigate through it. Kuna wale watu wako mashinani wenye nimeambiwa na Hosea wanang'ang'ana tu, mtu anamaliza anakaa huko anaoa, the next minute unajipata wewe ni, is that what you meant, Hosea? Huyu mtu unataka nimwambie nini? Kama wewe uko mashinani, whatever job you are doing there, usidharau. One thing I believe, and this is something I've told even my own children severally. Hakuna mtu atakupea ngiri 2 leo, na next month mpatane njiani ya kupatia another 2,000. Na next month mpatane ya kupatia 2. Atakupatia hizo ngiri 2 alafu awe akisema nilimpatia 2,000, jamaa alikuwa na shida sana. Na does not expect you to give another 2,000. Kwa hivyo hata kama utapata job ya 10,000 ama 12k, nyakua hiyo kazi mpaka upate hiyo ingine. Usidharau, because with the 10,000 unaweza nunua kiatu mpya, unaweza nunua katai, hata kashati. Ukiitwa ka interview mahali, you look presentable. If you don't, you dharau everything which is around you, utajipata umeitwa interview hata bus fare hauna. So hata kama ni pesa kidogo, inaweza kuwa ngazi ya the next level. Just do the best you can wherever you are. Na kama uko na properties ama wazazi wako wako na mashamba wanakugawia, waambie wakugawia kashamba kako, ukate kidogo, ukuje unione, uone Grace pale ama uone Viola pale, utuambie mimi nataka kufuata Hosea mahali yako. Na punde si punde utakuwa unasema mimi kashamba kangu nikata kidogo, na bila kujua utanunua ingine kubwa hata kushinda hiyo. Na kwa hivyo usife moyo. Ongea na wale wamefika huku, ongea na watu na wale wako hata kama ni sisi tuko kwa maofisi huko, ongea na wao, usife moyo. We never turn anybody away. We always want to listen to everyone's story. Na we believe the person who actually benefits most ni ule wa mashinani, hata sio huyo wa Lavington ama wale wa huko. Unajua hata labda wameenda holiday huko na wakarudi. Wa mashinani ndio wana jump ile jump kubwa kabisa. Ametoka huko chini na sasa ndio huyo. Na unajua ukifika huku, it doesn't matter kama umetoka ka village kagani, hata kale kangu kanaitwa Kwamboini. Kama umetoka hako ka village, it doesn't matter ukifika huku kama umetoka huko ama mwingine ametoka Runda ama ametoka wapi. Tukifika huku, by the way, ni kama mnavaa kitambaa moja nyinyi wote. Mnaanza kuulizana mashifti ziko pande gani. Umesikia kazi pande gani, na kazi mnalipwa the same. Na at the end you graduate the same day. The only difference is wewe labda unangangana zaidi kusaidia wazazi wako na kujisaidia, when mwenzako labda ako free, pesa inakuja tu na Western Union. Lakini hata ikija na Western Union pia ni vizuri kama wewe uko mwanafunzi mwenye uko na you are responsible. Whenever you receive money from home, you take it to the right use. Pay your fees, pay your accommodation, and spend more hours to study, because you have more support. Ni kumaanisha at the end, you might even get a better GPA or a better pass mark. But at the end of the day, you all are one and the same. You are all called Kenyans when you land here. We all look after you as our fellow Kenyans. We don't actually care where you come from. Nobody even remembers to ask somebody where you came from or who is your father. Because actually tunasikia baadaye, unasikia haya, huyo ni mtoto wa balozi, unasikia haya. Okay, kumbe hata wanaishi US. It doesn't matter where you come from. You come here, tunapendana pamoja. Hata watu wajui, this is one place, is a brewing pot for East and the West. Ukija hapa, sisi sote ni kitu kimoja. Hata uwezi kuwa unaona mtu kama wewe ulisomea academy ama nilisomea huko primary ile yangu. Tukifika hapa, kizungu labda ndio itatutofautisha, because wengine wanaongea kizungu ya huko ya kule city, na sisi tunaongea ile kizungu yetu ya mashinani. Lakini kizungu si ni kizungu. Kama ni grammar, kama ni kuandika insha na kuandika whatever, you could even be better. So at the end of the day, that's why I'm saying, wewe mashinani, don't give up. Don't give up. Keep doing whatever you are doing. Hata kama ni majani ya chai unachuna sahi, endelea kuchuna, because tomorrow something else will come. You have to keep stepping a step at a time. Don't stay there at usongi. Lazima usonge hata kama ni bodaboda, hata kama ni panda juu. At the end, utakuwa, angalia Hosea pale. Hosea ako na historia yake, na ni wengi sana tuko na mastori tofauti. Kwa hivyo usife moyo. Nitaendelea na ninataka kusema kuna wale wenye wanataka kuanzisha maisha huku, there's don't lose hope. That's what I would say. And after that, I want to address the issue of those students who have children. somebody asked that. I think Janet talked about it. Kuna wale, tumeongea about wale wamaliza high school na wengine wamaliza shule ya upili. Watu wote, we said, and I said this from the beginning, we never turn anybody away. Hata kama wewe ni wa miaka ngapi, hata kama uko na familia na watoto 5 ama nini, that's irrelevant. What we want to deal with each individual case is different, and we craft our programs, our packages on individuals, not on a group. If you do a group thing, it won't work because kila mtu akona maneno yake. Sasa kuna wale wako na watoto, kuna wale wako na mabwana hata waliolewa after high school, hawakumaliza wakati walikaaka wakaolewa. Sasa akona watoto 2, mzee labda pia ni mtu alimaliza high school, na wewe kama ulimaliza high school, bora ulifanya KCSE, hiyo ndio the most important thing to do. I believe that is why every Kenyan should support one child to finish KCSE, because until you finish KCSE, I wish we can all undertake to say, if you can afford, educate that one child. Doesn't have to be a relative to finish KCSE, because you're nika kupata, what do I say? It's like you are fully molded. Before you get KCSE, kama ulifanya tu KCPE, to be very honest, your chances are very limited. Unless upate nafasi uolewe na a politician ama somebody rich, na wewe kama ni kijana labda ukule karata mahali, your future as far as employability, as far as education comes to almost a very dark, it becomes very dark. So it's very important for anybody who has finished KCSE. It doesn't matter how many children you have. Assuming you have a child or 2, what I would say is we have lots of those students who have come here because all we need to do is to package their statement of purpose to say why they have not gone ahead with school after finishing. Na kama ni msichana anasema mimi kwanza niliolewa, sasa niko na watoto, I had to bring up my children. Now one of them is 4 years, the other one is 6 years. Now I can leave them with my parents. Nienda nimalize hii degree as long as you have a sponsor. You must have a good sponsor so that the system or the Department of Home Affairs, or rather the Australian government, can be convinced you can afford to sustain and to maintain yourself, at the same time maintain your family back in Kenya. So it's doable. We have had so many, and at the end of 1 year, they come back to our office, they say, mimi nataka bwana sasa anifuate na watoto. Hizo mavisa tumefanya mingi mpaka ikafika mahali kaonekana kama ni mchezo imeingizwa hapo, wakaanza kuona wakaanza kuleta question marks. But you have every right as a student to ask for your family to join you in the country where you are in. Kama uko na bwanako na watoto, juzi mwingine alifika hapa kijana na mtoto wake, when the borders opened alipanda ndege mara moja because bibi yake yako hapa. Na sasa wote, the young family with a child of 6 years, sasa wako pamoja, the mzee is over the moon. I spoke with him yesterday. The kijana mwenye alikuwa anafanya kazi Kenya, akachukua unpaid leave, akuja join bibi yake. Sasa huyo unafikiria atarudi? Sidhani. Akifika hapa atawe maomba aseme hiyo unpaid leave ishia hapo. Kwa hivyo, this happens every day. If you ask Viola how many visas she has done for, they are called dependent visas. They usually have the parent ule alibaki na watoto. Na kama wewe hujaolewa, kama wewe ni msichana uko na mtoto wako, unakaa hapa, ukimaliza unasema nataka mtoto wangu akuje tukae na yeye. Kama ni mtoto wa 10 years and above, it's better. If it's too young, it might be a bit of a problem when you are studying. Lakini kama ni mtoto wa kitu 12, 13 years, ni mtoto atakuwa anaenda shule na wewe unaenda kusoma, ni mtoto unaweza manage kiasi. Lakini if it's a very tiny baby, if you are alone, I can't tell you it's easy. It's not easy because you can't go with the baby to class, you can't go with the baby to work. It becomes very hard. So that time it's better you finish school first, umalize shule, alafu uende uchukue mtoto wako. So we do these visas every day. It's open. It's there for everyone. So I think the next question I'll ask, I think there's something, I think Millicent was asked a question which she answered it herself, but I want to address the people who have finished a degree program, na ni mahaslas kama vile nani anawaita, na wanataka pia kupata kanafasi wakuja huku. Unajua wa high school nimesema niko na ka program kao kenye tunawapangia Kama wamemaliza high school, tunaweza warusha hapa na to program to chip to have $1 million or thereabout. Hiyo itaweza kulipa different cost including the fees mpaka tu launch hiyo visa tu ndio ataenda kujilipia na vitu kama hizo. Lakini wale wamemaliza high school, university, wenye wako na degrees, we still have some to loopholes somewhere. Utu loopholes ni to program tunatuita graduate programs. Graduate programs ni kama postgraduate in horticulture. Kama ulifanya agriculture somewhere in my university or wherever, kuja ni kuonyesha ka program ka cheap sana kanaitwa postgraduate diploma in horticulture. That's a postgraduate is for someone with a degree already. It's a 1-year program. The problem with that 1 year is only that when you get here, you study 1 year, lazima ukae karibu na mimi ili tu extend hiyo visa, usome kitu ingine ili ifike 2 years. Because until it gets to 2 years, you can't get the post-study work visa. There's a very popular visa inaitwa visa 485. Na hiyo visa ni ya mtu yeyote amemaliza shule, akasoma higher education for 2 years. Mtu mwenye amemaliza 2 years of study, the government of Australia gives them a time to practice their experience. It's another way of telling you, we want to keep you because we need workers. And why would you go back if you are given 4 years or 3 years of working in Australia? Wewe unatafuta tu kibarua hapa. Na ukipata hiyo kibarua before umalizie, unatafuta njia zako, unapata makaratasi, na usipopata makaratasi unarudi options, tunakutafutia kashule kengine mahali kama hujatoboa, because here you can't stay without a visa. That is the reality. It's a very hard life. Na kumbuka Hosea akisema pale niongeleshe wale wanakaa chini ya maji. Wewe mwenye uko chini ya maji, toka chini ya maji. Because chini ya maji, what Hosea meant, ni wale watu kimeumana, wameshindwa kulipa karo ya shule, na waliposhindwa kulipa hiyo karo ya shule wakaona mi hata shule sitaweza. Kwa hivyo sitaki hii kelele. Anaenda chini ya maji, yeye anaenda kuchapa tu kibarua. Australia, you can't work if you are a student without studying. Hiyo itakuletea balaa. Because it is the responsibility of the school you are studying. This is the only country where your study program is linked to the immigration system. So it is the responsibility of the school, of the university, to make sure if you are not attending classes, they must report to you through a system called PRISM, which is a government system. Anakulogin tu hapo anasema, Helen Meria hajaenda shule, has not been in school for the last, there is a number of days you can be absent without being reported, but after the last day, it is the responsibility of the school. And if they are audited and found there is a student who never attends school and they never report, they are in trouble. So everybody amewekelewa mashida yake ajibebe mwenyewe. Sasa shule lazima ireport huyu mwanafunzi, hata kama ni ndugu ya principal, lazima amreport, because asipomreport ana risk license yake. So ana report, and then ana report kwa immigration, and then what immigration does, inaachiwa hiyo kazi. Huyo mwanafunzi anatoka mikononi mwa hiyo shule, anaingia mikononi mwa immigration. Kama ulienda chini ya maji wewe, ujue immigration inaweza kosa kukupata immediately, because they are so busy. Sometimes there are so many students under the water, and they keep catching one at a time. But one day utapatikana. Because siku ile unapatikana, unapata barua kwako inakwambia, tell us why we should not cancel your visa in the next 7 days. That is the letter that nobody wants to receive. It's a very depressing letter. By the time a student gets that letter, what I normally advise them, don't sleep over it. Come straight to our office. Look for me, look for any of our student counselors here in Australia. Look for our offices in Australia, and we'll be able to help you. We'll be able to help you so that the 7 days is a very short time. If you don't respond that letter within 7 days, you are dead. What you normally get is another letter telling you your visa will be cancelled. You are given 28 days to leave the country, which is a very, very depressing thing. Can you imagine how much work we do to bring a student here, just to see them being told you have 28 days to leave the country? We take that to ourselves. We like to share with them. We like to carry that burden together. We are not judges. We are not parents who will come with a kiboko and start asking you, where have you been? We are here to solve a problem. And we look at that problem as our own, and we try to understand the student, because a lot of students sometimes land into those problems out of stress. Maybe they didn't have enough money. Maybe they don't know they can change a program to a more cheaper program. Maybe they didn't know they can take a leave of study. A lot of them don't know they have so many rights. They don't know how to get out of this mess. And surely the best thing is come forward and say, I'm tired. I haven't gone to school for the last 2 months. I know things are going to go crazy. How can you help me? We love those people who come forward with that. Those who don't, they end up in a very difficult situation, which we still ask them, whatever time you understand you are hit hardest, come forward. We have been able to save students who are in the blink of crossing the line which we can't do, because after 28 days, to be very honest, as much as I want to help you, I can't. It is too hard. So come earlier. If you are not able to study, come. Let us discuss how we can defy your program. We can be able to ask a leave of absence. You have every right to ask for leave of absence. At the same time, you have every right, if you're not feeling very well, you can go and see a doctor and you can get your time leave of study because of your health. Because the moment you see you're not going to school, something is not right. Make sure you go through a counseling. We have so many counselors. The universities, the colleges, they all have counselors who help students navigate through their problems, and we are also here to help. So as much as Hosea is saying, there are those who find Mama O is very tough, is taking things too seriously. These are serious matters. We cannot take them lightly. We have to take them seriously, because when the time comes for someone to pack and leave the country, can you imagine how much loss we are incurring here? From, don't talk of the air ticket, talk of the fees, which is getting lost here. Talk of the time, talk of the anxiety, talk of the experience itself of someone who thought they had a future. And when they get to Kenya, they start communicating with their friends here. And you know what? A lot of them go into a depression. So the parents who have children who come back to Kenya because of something like that, they need to be very close to them. They should not start questioning them. They should not start counting their losses. That's the time to encourage those youngsters so that they can remold their life again. Preferably, we always tell them, get them to the nearest university or college, let them continue with their studies. They are young. Who knows about tomorrow? If it's a 24-year-old or 25-year-old, you are too young to think all is lost. How about those who are 50 and they are still struggling? So it only takes maybe 3 years to mold your life and bring it back on track. So what we normally advise students, kama uko chini ya maji, kuja tu karibu na usiwe na wasiwasi. We don't have a kiboko in the office. We don't have even a phone call is enough. And we should be able to navigate through whatever problems you are going through so that we can change. I know several students, we have had to change the course of their study and we start something new. And when we start something new, we communicate with the department, we communicate with the school, and the student starts again and they come back and they say, phew, I can't believe I'm still here because I had packed my suitcase. I had told people I'm going home. And then when we come to know about it, that is the last thing we will ever participate, to let someone leave the country if they are not, there is an avenue. If there is a small thread of hope, we will follow it up until the end. And we have seen a lot of them actually getting that help. Some visas get canceled and we are able to guide them how they can revive their visas through various migration agents who are trained how to fight for such student visas which are lost so that the student doesn't have to leave the country. The only thing that can make you leave this country is if you are very indisciplined, if you are always crossing the law, if you're always in trouble with the government, if you're always not studying, you are always fighting, or you drink too much, you always drink driving. Some of those irresponsible behaviors, they can be very, very detrimental to your staying in this country. And I've seen a lot of them, even when we apply for their second visa, they are questioning, can you tell us how you are going to behave yourself? Because I can see on this date, you are caught with this, on this date, you got a fine, on this date, this happened. And who wants to be asked those questions? Nobody. So please, when you get here, if you have invested too much, remain disciplined. Be patient, have fun with your friends, because there's a lot of fun here. But remember the core business, why you are in Australia, why you are in this country. It is the core business is to finish your studies, after which you'll be given by the government with both arms open come and live with us for the next 2-3 years, and you'll be able to experience working in Australia after studying here. Meanwhile, during those 3 years, anything can happen, and you're able to cross and get full status of a resident of Australia, after which you can choose to remain here or just go back home. In fact, I do advise people, even if you want to go back, become a resident first, or become a citizen, and then you can go back, because you have a chance to come back if things kikiumana, unaweza rudi. And that's usually what I advise them. I sometimes look very harsh when I'm talking about this, because I really feel pain when I see someone coming all the way and then they start telling me things went crazy. And a lot of students, they never even tell us. We just come to know they have left when they are already in Kenya. I wish you can just be coming forward. Talk to Helen. I'm here. Talk to my team. And I can tell you, we have so many who have talked to us and they have survived. And I think Hosea mentioned it. I know your story very well, Hosea, and I know your friend, your close friend, how you used to hold each other almost like like you think all is lost. But today we are celebrating a different story. We are all very proud of you. We are proud of many other students who come forward to save their status. Our case counselors, they work so hard to get your visa. Now to come here and lose it, just carelessly like that, and then leave the country with nothing, it's a loss that I never like to think about. I can imagine what the parents go through. That is my biggest nightmare. When I see a parent crying, knowing, is that all that can happen? And surely sometimes there's nothing much we can do if it's taken until too late. So I'll leave Millicent to answer her question. And I think there was something else. Grace will talk about the pandemic. Before Grace, maybe we can hear from Millicent. You are mute. You have muted.
Unmute Millicent. Millicent. Before you proceed, I can recognize our followers. We have a lot of followers tonight. I can quickly recognize them. Recognize all our followers today. Over wholesales, there are a lot. Na kila mtu anaongelea Australia. Asante sana Lucy Teroitich. Asante sana Lucy Teroitich. Those in my inbox asking how to come to Australia, please tune in. Asante sana Lucy Teroitich, wherever you are. Asante sana Swas. As was Damu, you have been asking about the process to come to Australia. Tune in. Asante sana Swas Damu. A lot of people have tuned in. Watu wengi, so tunaambia to our fans, asante sana Professor, asante sana Daktari, all the way from Italy, asante sana Marion, all the way from Malta, and many people, Evelyn Jeruya, asante sana, Silas Kimutai, asante sana, Alfred K. Sachin, asante sana, all the way from Western Australia, asante sana, Doreen Tah, all the way from Queensland, Australia. These are alumni of Options. Asante sana, Engineer Primin Chemweno, one of the alumni of Option, is tuning in all the way from Queensland, Australia. Asante sana, Engineer Chemweno. Millicent, all the way from Sydney, Australia. Wakili Charles Coet, alumni of Option, all the way from Melbourne, Australia. Weldon Sareto, asante sana Weldon Sareto, all the way from Sydney. Hilary Kimutai, asante sana. Senge Helena, tune in all the way from Mosoriat, upande wa Kenya. Director Dori Chelagat, tune in. Cosmas Tuwe, asante sana Cosmas. Brian Jirchir, asante sana. Doreen Anthony, asante sana. Philip Ruto, Benjamin Sugut, asante sana. Gerald Bitok, asante sana Gerald Bitok. Kennedy Rono, asante sana Kennedy Rono. One of our says from Adelaide, Karen Chemngetich, all the way from Slovakia, is following on. Benedict Mayo, asante sana. One of our own, one of guys, young guy Mamao, ambaye tunafanya wote katika hii program yetu, anaitwa Manuela. Kijana mwenye anafanya, is our advertiser, is our graphic designer, is following the program and is interested to join us to come to Australia. Asante sana Kemboy, na kazi mzuri unafanya. Mama Blessing, asante sana. Na watu Silas Kilimo, asante sana. the comment. Asante sana Kigen, tune in. Asante sana Kigen, one of the alumni of Optiven. Evangelist Francis Odibo, asante sana Evangelist. Mahali ulipo, Francis Rono, kuna Solomon Tarus all the way from Saniak huko mashinani Nandi County, amesema kuna watu wengi wamekongwa sana. Asante sana kwa kuleta mama O, kwa sababu anasema vile chake ni walifaulu kufika huku ni walitumia Option Education Agency. So asante sana Solomon Tarus, ameandika message. Na watu professor, asante sana Professor Beth Atunin, Ashley Mutai, asante sana Kimburko Cyril, asante sana Boas Kimboy ambaye ni mmoja wa watangazaji tunafanya wote na Kass FM. Tune in all the way. Chiri Brenda all the way from Maltese upande wa Southern Asia. Tune in. Joash KK anajulikana kama ni Simba moja. Tune in, asante sana na interested pia kuja upande wa Australia. We recognize Kibieko Mozon, anajulikana Aspel Soimo, asante sana. We recognize the presence of our governor, Jackson Mandago, is with us and is keenly following the program. Asante sana, Governor Jackson Mandago of Wasingishu, Governor of County of Bomet, Daktari Hilary Barchok. He was recently in Canada, but amesema Australia ni mambo yote. Asante sana Governor, and thanks for the message. Na viongozi wengi ambao wana tune in, we recognize the presence of Bishop Daktari Kimengich all the way from Kitale. He's alumni of the program and he's following the show tonight. Asante sana Askofu all the way from Kitale. Asante sana Legion Daktari Joel Kimeta is following the program keenly. Tune in from Nakuru. Naftali Pet, asante sana. Some of the questions are a lot. The people are, these are congratulation messages. I've received a message from my dad. He's saying, asante sana Mama O. That's the message from my father. He's tuning in from village to Luamwetun and he's following the program. The YouTube people are a lot. Asante sana. So we will recognize before we end the show. Asante sana. I've received message from CEO George Washuri. He is following our show. Na George Washuri amesema salamia Mama O. She says she knows you personally. She asante sana George Washuri. She is following us tonight. And he has mentioned something about 50th floor for Mama O. Maybe later on we will play the clip and then Mama O, you will say something in regards with our CEO George Washuri, as I mentioned tonight. Karibu.
Thank you.
Yeah, asante sana. I know, sir, allow me to just mention two things. So nimeona watu wa YouTube pia, I'll just read them. Ian Mariga, thank you. Philemon Kurgat, Marceline Cherotich, Grace Mariga, thank you so much for following. Na kila mtu endelea kushare our show. Watu wanauliza Mama O about the cost, especially for higher education masters. Another one, like as an immigrant, is it hard to penetrate into business/office work? What do you advise in Australia? And then I have one more question. I know we are running out of time, but if you can, let's just make it so quick. And I'm an economics graduate, currently doing MBA with previous office experience, but when I came here, I was told to go into aged care as a way to earn money. I'm asking, how does one apply for office or administrative opportunities after so many years in care work? Especially ya mwisho Mama O, I think the rest tulikuwa tumecover employment opportunities huko Australia and how to also navigate job changes or job switch.
Okay, did you want me to answer before Millicent?
I think, go ahead.
Let Millicent answer the question and then you can we can transition to you.
Yes.
Okay, how are you everyone?
We are good.
Good, Millicent.
Okay, I think Janet, you asked about my experience for this journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can say it's quite exciting, especially when you hear a lot of success stories. one of them being Osea, because helping people succeed, it really improves your own life and it also improves the world around you. In turn, it makes you happier. So for me, it's good. Yeah.
And I guess, what are some of the challenges that you have faced, and what can you tell some people? I would really like you to talk about maybe somebody who thought they really didn't have any hope. I know Hosea was one of them. Like, have you had anyone else? So we can just tell people it's very possible. And as long as, and what do they need to do, basically? Because I'm sure there is some effort that needs to be put in.
Okay. No, the good thing with Australia, as long as you have your papers right and become flexible. When you come to the office, don't insist, I want to do this program or this I want to do nursing, because you have had that nursing is marketable. If you are flexible, then the whole process will be smooth, very smooth for you.
Okay. Asante.
Yeah.
Thank you. I guess we can have Grace answer
Grace, there was a question about pandemic. Someone was to answer that, and then we'll go to Helen.
I think I want to quickly touch on what we learned during the pandemic as an agency that helps students to study abroad. The one thing that we really came to realize is that kazi ni kazi. Wakati watu walikuwa nyumbani hii time ya COVID, very many opted to just stay home without doing anything. I think my director earlier on alikuwa ameguzia kitu ambayo inaitwa GTE. I would encourage, kama uko na mtoto hata akimaliza form 4, you'd rather have them even volunteer in a nearby school or a church, because wakati unaulizwa kitu inaitwa gap na hauna kitu ya kuexplain, sometimes inakuwa challenge kwa visa yako. So I encourage, it is good to do the work. I even support what Hosea said. Hata kama unafanya kazi ya bodaboda, the fact that you are doing something and you can write that kwa ile statement yako of purpose, inakusaidia sana kwa visa yako. It's a strong asset. Kwa hivyo si lazima uchague useme nilimaliza tu shule nikakaa nyumbani miaka 3, miaka 4. Fanya kitu. Ingia hapo, chukua hata kama ni front office work, enda shule volunteer hata kama utafunza hesabu ama tuition. As long as saini unamaliza unakuja unatuambia niko na recommendation nilipatiwa ya kuoneshana nilikuwa nafanya kibarua fulani. The second thing about hii pandemic ambao tumejua ni ati opportunities ziko, na pia hii process yote ambao tulikuwa tunasaidia watu kwenda Australia, it was halted, but I'm very grateful kwa wale wanatusikiza na wale ambao waliendelea na hii process, kwa sababu hata wale wako nyumbani wameona saizi Australia ndio wamefungua borders. A lot of them are now streaming in, and their patience was also important to us. Walishikana na sisi na wakaendelea kutuambia haya, mtusaidie na hii process. They are very loyal. Hiyo ndio one thing I can assure you of. Mtusaidie na hii process to the very end. So the pandemic, yes, it affected us, but it did not break who we are as a company in terms of assisting the students. We still did our events. Tulienda Eldoret na tukakuwa na fairs, tukaongelesha wanafunzi, tukajaribu kufanya school visits, and tukafanya a lot of events online, Facebook, kupitia Facebook yetu, kupitia our Instagram pages, tukaongelesha wanafunzi sana, and now we are seeing the returns. And just to add on top of what our director alikuwa anasema, we are now ready to even assist students more, because hii February ambayo inakuja tutakuwa Eldoret tukifanya a whole education fair with a couple of our partners kutoka universities mbalimbali za Australia ambao watakuja na watasaidia wanafunzi one on one. Kwa hivyo anyone kama uko karibu and maybe you had asked a question kupitia Facebook page ya hii show na ujajibiwa, ukikuja hiyo siku niko show ukinipata nitakujibu.
So Grace, Grace, can you tell us the dates ya utakuwa Eldoret, because many people here are asking ni siku gani hiyo?
Bas, tutakuwa Eldoret tarehe 15 February kuanzia saa 3 hadi saa 10, na tutakuwa mahali kunaitwa Sirikwa Hotel. Kwa hivyo kama uko Eldoret, hata ukikuwa Kapsabet, ukifika Eldoret hata useme ujui Sirikwa Hotel, upige simu, I will make sure pahali uko umeweza kufikishwa Sirikwa Hotel. So umekaribishwa sana.
Asante Grace. I don't think watu wengi watajua Sirikwa. So Sirikwa ni hoteli mzuri pale. So ufika huko, watu wengine wanaokobaka wanasema Sirikwa sio yangu, lakini siku hiyo unakubaliwa uende huko. And I like what you said, Grace. You know, most of our people wakimaliza shule wanaenda wanakaa nyumbani. Ukiuliza mtu what were you doing, there is a reason why people ask you ulipomaliza shule what were you doing. I would like to know ulipomaliza this year mpaka next year, what did you do? So you have to have a reason as to what you are doing. So volunteer, you know, Engineer Janet alipomaliza shule, after passing very well, she went and taught. Hakukuwa mwalimu, lakini alienda akafundisha hesabu, what she was good at. So she was able to teach. Mwishowe, when you do that, they will give you a certificate. It will help you. So volunteer in a church, volunteer in a school. You can volunteer anywhere, you know, and do something. It will help you. So karibu, Helen.
Yeah, that is very good. I think the other thing probably I wanted Chris to add on is we are having our education fairs happening in February, yes. And you have told us the date for Sirikwa Hotel in Eldoret. That is just one place. We'll be having 3 fairs, one in Nairobi, another one in Nakuru. We have a very busy office in Nakuru, and then we have a very busy office in Eldoret. So we are able to manage all the 3 fairs. Can you tell them the dates for the other 2, please, Grace, before I take over?
Thank you, Helen. On the 17th of February, so tarehe 15 ya February tutakuwa Eldoret, Sirikwa Hotel.
Siku gani?
Tarehe 15 of February will be in Sirikwa Hotel for Eldoret, kuanzia saa 3. Tarehe 17 February tutakuwa Meria Hotel Nakuru, kuanzia saa 3. And then 19th of February tutakuwa Nairobi, pale Sankara Hotel, kuanzia saa 3. So mmekaribishwa sana, na pia tunapatia watu refreshment hata ukitoka mbali. So kama uko Kericho na unaona Eldoret ni karibu ama ni Nakuru, ukifika tutakupea chai, alafu tutaongea mambo ya kusoma ngambo.
Good, thank you very much. 15th of February will be on a Tuesday. That is when we are in Eldoret. And 17th, which is on a Thursday, tutakuwa hapo Nakuru, Meria Hotel, and Sankara Hotel in Westlands, Nairobi. Tutakuwa huko on 19th of February. I'm just repeating because if someone did not take note. We provide refreshments in our fairs. You can have a cup of tea, maybe a mandazi. At least even if you have come from far, you will don't waste time eating before you come, because there'll be a lot of water, a lot of all those goodies. Yeah, now to add, yes, Grace?
Just to add one common question, watu uliza, mnalipisha? Is the event eco charges? No, the event is free because we want to first give you the knowledge. Uende nyumbani, ujipange. Kama uko ready, we can even do an application same day, sisi you to waste time, and then we are able to proceed from there. So the event is entirely free. It's not charged.
Grace, ongezea your contact number just for those who are asking.
Kwa wale ambao wanaweza taka kutufikia, unaweza kutupata kupitia 0724 333 222. Nitarudia tena 0724 333 222. Hiyo ni main market.
Sema na Kiswahili. 333 ni nini? 0724 333 222. Ningesema na Kikale but najua tu somoka. Siwezi sema yote. Naweza kuturudia. Yeah. The other thing tunataka kuambia wanafunzi wetu kutoka pande za Uasin Gishu, hivi karibuni tunataka kuanza kuwasomesha Kizungu. Tushafanya uchaguzi wa mwalimu, tumefanya interviews. Sasa ile kitu tunataka wanafunzi wa kutoka Eldoret tuwapatie hiyo nafasi ya kuwafunza na kumake sure wakienda kufanya hiyo Kizungu hawaanguki, wanapita. Na kwa sababu kuna wingi wa wanafunzi wanashinda wakituuliza tutafanya nini. In Nairobi kuna watu wengi sana usomesha hiyo Kizungu. Hata huko tunaweza wapea one on one. We are agents of IELTS. We partner with them and we support students to do IELTS for coming to Australia. Lakini tuna Kizungu ingine inaitwa PTE. Yote tutakuwa tunawafunza pamoja because we don't chagua, it is what the student wants. Kwa hivyo we are ready for you guys. tuko tayari sisi kwa maofisi zetu zote, tuna serve chai, tuna serve maji, tuna serve kila kitu. We believe in hospitality because everything to do with hospitality makes communication easy. Sasa kujibu swali, niende straight kwa swali ile niliulizwa na engineer Janet yenye about kuna huyu mtu mwanafunzi ako Australia, alikuja hapa kufanya MBA after economics, na alipowasili hapa akaambiwa akafanya aged care. Sasa swali ni kwamba how can I get a job after my economics or my MBA if my only experience I have is aged care? Sorry. Sijui anasomea MBA shule gani, but a lot of MBA programs wako na sometimes work experience which they give to their students by the time they finish. Hii kitu inaitwa aged care, maybe hiyo ndio ningetaka kuongeleshea juu yake. Aged care tunaita tu is a, what do we call it? Aged care is a job where you look after the aged. You look, because in Australia, and the same case with America and Britain and all the first world countries, the old people, when they get too old to look after themselves, wanawekwa kwa nursing home ama kwa homes. When they go to homes, they need someone to help them with the breakfast in the morning. They need someone to help them with the showers. They need someone to help them with everyday activity, activities of daily life, which in sometimes where we come from, sometimes unapata mkongwe amewachiliwa, hana mtu wa kumwangalia, labda church, kanisa, mtu anaweza fikiria ampelekee chakula, na wengi wao wanakaa in a very desperate situation because they don't have a system like the one which is in some of these countries. Kumbuka serikali ndio inalipa hii pesa, sio ati familia. It's a social system to support the aged and the disabled, people who cannot look after themselves. It's a big industry, I would say that. Sasa, why do students, when they come here, especially from Kenya and from other backgrounds, not just Kenyans, from everywhere, all international students, when they get to this part of the world, and even when they get to other parts of the world, and a problem, Janet can be able to attest to that because she's in a different part of the world, you find these jobs are very easily coming. Kazi yenyewe, probably you might not be proud of it initially, but after some time you are very proud of it. Hata huogopi kusema naenda job. Kwa nini? Because it is like a stepping stone. We always call it a stepping stone. A lot of students who come here, they'll come and look for this job because it's easily there. You don't look, once you get a very basic training, you'll be able to be given a job to look after somebody who is disabled or somebody who is aged. And you have to be trained. It's a profession that you have to be trained. In Australia, you can't just do it from ushago kwa tuambiwe mtu mzee mwangalie. You have to be trained, you have to understand, you have to do the right thing, because this is a human being and has to be looked after professionally. Sasa, kwa nini, why do people take those jobs? First of all, one of the reasons, naambia wanafunzi, hii kazi uzuri wake ni moja. Hii kazi haichanganyi na your study program. Kama umekuja hapa kufanya MBA, ama umekuja hapa kufanya Bachelor of or Diploma of, unasoma mchana, husomi usiku. Hii kazi unaweza fanya jioni. Ukimaliza shule saa 9, unaweza ingia kazi saa 11, utoke saa 5, hiyo shift yako imeisha. Kama unaenda kazi ya ofisi, ukuje uandikwe na options. Options tunafanya kazi 9 to 5. Ukiingia kwa ofisi yetu 9, utasoma saa ngapi? Na second of all, ukiingia kazi yetu, you have to use your brain very seriously in terms of the statistics which are in that office, the GTs which we are writing there, the SOPs which you have to write. Ukienda shule, you are already tired. A lot of students have given me that as one of the excuses why they don't like very jobs which really take too much of their brain. But if it's a physical job where you are even told when ukachune matunda, hiyo hata kama unalala nusu utachuna tu, hata kama umetoka kwa darasa, you can go and chuna those matundas. So there are so many jobs anyway. It's not just aged care. Kuna sales, kuna wengine wanaenda kufanya kazi ya kuuza, unaweza kuwa ukiuza McDonald's or KFC, or sales industry like clothing, like some of the departmental stores. There are so many students who go to work there. Wengine wanafanya hospitality, ile ya hoteli. Unapata wewe kazi yako ni umetrainiwa kidogo, umejua kubeba sahani tatu mkono moja. Ukielewa hiyo kitu dakika moja, wewe unakuwa one of the waiters in small restaurants. Na that is the survival of most students. Wengine wanapata kazi za cleaning. Cleaning jobs are also very plenty. Penye unaweza clean nyumba za watu, unaweza clean institutions, unaweza clean shule. Hizo zote ni different types of jobs. Sasa ile mtu anachagua ni kitu tu ya kumshikilia amalize shule yake. Lakini ukija hapa kama tuseme unafanya nursing, unafanya hata kama unafanya BCom accounting. If you are doing BCom accounting, if you look for an accounting job, chances are that you might not get it. First of all, because we have other BComs who have finished and they are available, the hours they are required. Well, you as a student, you are not available. You are only available for, first of all, it could only be 2 days a week. A lot of those office jobs, they are not very flexible. That's why a lot of students, they never get to those office jobs. Very few. Only university, which gives very few, maybe 2 or 3 students, you hear they got a job with the university itself. But the university has over 10,000 students. So if 1 or 2 gets a job, that's just their luck. So the rest, you just look for a job which can give you some living. So for my student who is doing an MBA, who has done economics, all I can tell you is stick very keenly to your MBA program. Wait until you finish, get your post-study work visa or get whatever other visa after that. And then during this time when you are studying, stick to whichever job you are doing, because first of all, if you are doing aged care, it gives you a lot of flexibility. While there, you also learn a lot. Don't just take it for granted. Some of the places you learn a lot of culture, a lot of people's way of life is in those workplaces. That's when you see the real living of people outside your Kenyan way of life, because utatembelea Mkenya, utaenda kwa Mkenya weekend, but in an aged care facility, you see how things happen. You know, people take this in the morning. You know, people shower at these different times. And the thing is, when you do those jobs, they make you understand the culture of the people where you live. So don't look at it like just a job that is misusing me. It's not. Actually, they pay very well. They make sure they compensate for those students or those other people. There are people who make those their jobs and they don't do anything else. Even locals. It's not just international students who do those jobs. Actually, they could be, international students could be maybe 40%. The rest are locals. So what I would say is, shikilia your kazi vizuri, but I can assure you, nobody does that job for longer than a year after they finish. Once you finish your program, you can choose now to go and look for jobs. You can even move from your different state. You can even move interstate. You can even go knocking doors now with your certificate of MBA. Before you finish, you don't have any Australian experience, so it becomes very hard. But once you finish, you can now get into graduate jobs. Meanwhile, while there, try and volunteer in various areas. Even if it's a bank, you can just go there and knock a door of a bank, put your CV very well, and tell them you'd like to volunteer one day, even just if it is something very small. Not just banks, many institutions, even those aged care facilities, you can say, I would like to volunteer in the administration side. And whenever you say you volunteer, everyone finds you. It's a culture of Australia especially, where if you volunteer, unaonekana wewe ni mtu akona utu ndani yake, because unataka kujitolea kufanya kazi bila kulipwa. Na kawaida, hiyo experience ya kujitolea, it doesn't go to waste. It's very, very important. It will remain in your CV and people always look at you as somebody who can volunteer. There are so many things you can do outside the aged care job, outside your studies. 1 day a week, just 1 day, volunteer in an area that you are interested in. When you start looking for a job, you can quote that, and it will give you better stand than someone who just hakufanya kitu. It's not a must, but it helps. So aged care is just a pathway. I call it a pathway to the other side of your choices. I have never seen a student who has been doing aged care for years and years after they finish their university degrees. They always finish, and before I know it, they are saying goodbye to their jobs and they are trying to look for other jobs. So tell your friend, that student, she should not give up. There is still hope. It's only a matter of patience, and she'll be doing a job of her choice. once you finish her bachelor or her master's degree. Is there anything else?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Helen. Asanteni sana kwa wale wote wametufuata, tumeshukuru sana. We are probably coming towards the end of the program. Tunakuja sasa upande wa our takeaways wa program yetu ya leo. Tungependa tu kuwashukuru wote ambao wametufuata. There have been a lot of questions, watu wameuliza, all those questions yenye mmeuliza. We thank you, all of you. Tungeomba tu wale wanafunzi wangependa tutawakumbusha tarehe ambaye unaweza enda upande wa Eldoret Sirikwa kwa hiyo fairs tarehe 13 February ambaye ni mwezi ujao pale Sirikwa, mufike huko.
Balozi 15. Balozi ni 15.
15 or 15, sorry. On 15 February, Sirikwa, 17 pale Meria na Nakuru, and then 19 pale Sangara upande wa Nairobi. Numbers zenye unaweza kuwafikia ufikie Grace ni 0724 333 222. Kogen number itko puch tisap aeng angwan somok aeng. Tiem pirsi mono agim tiem ip certificates chebo chito nekakotar sukul, chito nemokyingei banda, ip ki age tugul nekiyai ing sukul akiwe undok ip certificate age tugul asibiteb akikoschigei ngalechu amu imukokse tukyu tugul ing lagok chekotar form 4, chito nekikwo college, chito nekikwo university akimokyinigei banda itokyigei Australia ak kebeberwek cheimuchi inyoru kelechinin karibu. Kongoi ngakwek tugul abwati ale kainetkei. We would like to thank you, Helen, so much for your time. We truly appreciate, and may God continue to bless you for what you're doing. There was this question about that my sister or my daughter, engineer, asked about what do they call watu wenye wanaendanga ng'ambo. Nataka tu niseme ni mzuri watu waende ng'ambo kwa sababu the remittance, pesa ile nakuja kutoka watu wenye wanatoka nje. Siku hizi, Helen, we are very proudly happy to say pesa yenye inakuja ile remittance yenye inatoka watu wenye wanatoka nje imeshinda coffee, imeshinda tourism, imeshinda tea. So ni mzuri watu waende nje because we need this money. I always like to use an example of a country, Ireland. Tunaambiwa watu wa Ireland, there are 5 million Irish in Ireland and there are 50 million Irish in United States. 50 million. So the number of people of Irish who are outside are more than the ones that are home. Watu wakienda nje ni mzuri kabisa. So, and you know, they are able to impact the society uko nyumbani kwa maneno ya remittance, kwa maneno ya mafundisho. Helen is in Australia and doing a lot of wonderful jobs. Had she not been there, probably angefanya hii yote. Hii watu wote wako huko. She's employing people back home. Unaona young people who are doing great jobs. So it's good. And then based on what we talked about, watu wameuliza, the biggest problem is hiyo maneno inaitwa financial statement, bank statement kwa vitu nyingi. I would encourage, kama kuna, thankfully nasikia governor wa Uasin Gishu wako pale, governor wa Kericho wako pale. I would probably recommend county government to create an educational fund. Waweke tu hiyo pesa pale na waingiza pale. Kwa mfano, there are universities in this country, Harvard for example, wako na kitu inaitwa endowment. County government and you know anybody, any leader, create an endowment. Harvard iko na $40 billion. University of Texas iko na 31.9 billion. This is just an endowment. That is why they are able to give scholarships. So if we create an endowment ambaye itakuwa tu ni ya wanafunzi wa county ya Kericho, county ya Bomet, county ya Nandi, county ya Uasin Gishu, you can create an endowment ambayo wanatumia tu this financial statement, watu waende. Helen atakuwa anasaidia watu wa Uasin Gishu, financial statement hiyo ikikuja wanachukua, it is an educational endowment ama county government educational fund. Itasaidia watu wengi and counties will be able to do. That is only my observation, and it is something that can be done. Leaders who are talking, wakiambia watu, create an endowment. Hii maneno ngine hii yote hii, it will be solved like that. Thank you so much. We truly wish you the very best. Continue doing the great job, human capital investment. Janet, I'm coming back to you. I don't know what you've learned or what would be your takeaways from our program. Kabla tutakuja mwishowe tupatie our sister Helen ama Mama Ho atuambie maneno yake ya mwisho. What have you learned from the program siku ya leo ama from our guest? Janet.
Thank you so much, Balozi, and I would like to take this time to say thank you a ton to our guest, Mama O, for taking all this time. I know ni usiku, you might be, close to dozing off, like you've kept going for all of us and for our followers. So thank you so much. Pia to Millicent, Viola, Obiri, and Grace. Asanteni sana. I know it's late in Kenya na mmekaa tu na kutusikiliza and to answer all our questions. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart and just on behalf of the program. My takeaways for this, Balozi, I have learned that everyone needs to take advantage of opportunities, and there's always opportunities, there's always options, there's always something you can do. And Mama O has told us, when you see that small business that you're doing, hata kama inakupea 2,000, 12,000 if you're a graduate, don't neglect it. It's part of what will build your CV, and it's part of what builds character. Ni heri hata kama you earn it for yourself. Now wendi kuomba mtu, because that one is like genuine. You always have something for yourself. Even you always have something to give, and that brings so much joy. So let's take advantage of opportunities, and also let's just learn to fish and don't waste time. Don't waste your time. I'm glad that Options wamesema whenever you go to visit them, they don't waste time. They don't waste your time because you've gone there. They're very respectful. I pray and hope that you can set the trend for all services in Kenya, and thanks for offering that. But don't waste time. Don't waste your time. Don't waste Options' time. Don't waste anyone's time. You have provided a lot of information, and I think our listeners wamesikiza, and whoever is determined, you will get there. Mona venye Osea alianzia, ametuonesha hapo pikipiki from the very beginning. And now look, he's now hosting the show. He can now have coffee with Mama O, who owns a very big organization. Soon Hosea is on path to be a PhD holder. Look at what life can offer. There's so much for you to achieve. There's so many opportunities. If you're determined, if you're willing to take advantage, just go for it. For those who are here, I know Mama O, you answered my question about brain drain. I asked that because as much as we give back a lot, and I feel like that's a very great opportunity that we get to give whenever you've gone outside, you've seen something different, and that's a wealth. That's wealth, as it cannot even be quantified in its own. So grateful for that, and thanks for answering that question. But at the same time, whenever we are at home, let us not ignore that there is a lot of opportunities as well. And as leaders, let us grow and nurture and fix some of these issues that people are running away from. So asanteni sana, and may God bless you. I look forward to connecting some more. Please remember, kama uko Eldoret, February 15, enda to that Sirikwa Hotel, get the information. Kama uko Nakuru, we've shared information. Kama uko Nairobi, we've shared information. And I believe even if people are really, really interested na hawezi fika, I'm sure Grace and her team can organize for something virtual, something like this, that you can also get more information. Ama pigia simu Grace, she'll take your phone call, they'll pick up your call, and they will help you out. So let's take advantage of the opportunities that have been presented to all of us, and then we can move forward as a society. It's good when we are all united, when we are all successful. Chamalen, I guess in my own personal philosophy, I feel like we should all be successful, because if there's one person who's left behind in your village, huyo ndio atakuja kuwa mwizi, ama watoto wake, if they're really, really poor, they'll come and they'll be, they'll be stealing from you. So it's better when we are all successful. So let's all hold each other's hands and move forward as a society. So thank you so much, Mama O, for what you're doing, and for your team, and for everyone else who's part of the team for doing what you do. So go out there and get your opportunity, Kenya.
Thank you, Engineer Janet. I like what Mama O said, how she was able to show about when she was answering that question of brain drain, why people naturally move, kwa sababu hiyo makazi na vitu kama hizo. So I believe our leaders have learned something, na wataona it is important to create also employment. Hiyo maneno ya harassment, Osea akitaka kununua pikipiki, anaulizwa certificate, anaulizwa kama ameregister, is being harassed na ametoka shule, they don't know. So mama mboga mwenye ako pale, you know, all those things. Tukifanya hivyo, we will have helped them. Osea, I don't know what you've taken from Mama O after, you know, beside being with her in Australia, mko na yeye kwa hizo masherehe na hizo vitu. What have you learned, Osea?
Thank you, Balozi. Thank you, Balozi and Janet. I am part of the family. You know, you are as a part of the family. I'm so grateful to be one of the alumni of Options. After being assisted with, by Option, through Millicent, I have done a lot of referral back from my village. I think through Millicent, to manage kuleta watu, I think almost 10 through my referrals to Millicent, and some of them are part of the family and all are in Australia. So we are forever grateful. Kama watu wa Tuluab Netun, you have touched our life personally. So Mama O, asante sana. I've learned a lot through general Option. Option wakikushika, they will make sure even if you have any stress in Asia. I didn't have any dreams of kwenda Australia, but Millicent wasee huko village kuconvince. Unajua mtu kama wasee ukichukua ujumbe nimepata maneno ya kwenda Australia, hata watu wanashangaa, but Millicent alikuwa ana call wasee, anawa convince, anawaambia hapana, inawezekana. So making a phone call, it's make a very, very big difference in mashinani. Wasee wasikia nani huyo? Millicent Option from Westlands. So walinishika pale, and they communicated with my parents, they communicated with the people from my village. Even the day that I was doing farewell, Millicent, she was supposed to come, but due to logistics, she didn't manage to come, but alikuwa anangojewa pale Tuluam. That's another thing, that's too personal to me, like amekuwa part of my life, and it is something instilled through Option. 80% of people when wamekuja hapa. Another thing I have learned with Mama O, once you come here, hawezi kukuachilia even if you are doing your own stuff, like party is a private event, lakini all of a sudden unaona Mama O amepop up. Things like graduation, you can't find balozi. Juzi imekuwa during pandemic, like your parents are not there, but unastukia Mama O amekuwa anapatia watoto wake, lakini wameamua kuacha hiyo kuja graduation. Yeah, a student graduating. That is beyond an extra mile more. So that's another thing. Another thing, sherehes. Tuesday during pandemic imefungwa. Na unataka kuoa, mko na mtu hapa. Unapata Mama O anakuja kuplay role ya kuwa mama. So that's so personal. It's beyond even the scope of kazi yake, but anaenda an extra mile. Another thing is that urge, yeah, like at least if you find someone balozi anakuambia this is the way, you are heading to a wrong direction. That's like your parent. You are in a place whereby nobody even asks you about anything. Na ukiuliza kitu, mtu hataki kujua about maisha yako, but she can still go an extra mile. Yeah, uliza about your affairs, what's your plan, what's your future, what's next for you. So kupatia options za maisha. So these are very, very special episodes. We will all in high regards for followers and mnatufuatilia kila siku, mnaita our inbox, all our problem balozi imeisha leo. So if anybody, all our episode tumekuja from episode number 1 to episode number 58. Anybody akitaka kusikia kuhusu Australia, we will be referring to these episodes and we will be referring to those offices in Eldoret and Nakuru. Ukiwa Nakuru, unaenda to Nakuru office, Nairobi, and you will be sorted. Some of us, we don't have a lot of knowledge in regards to maneno ya Australia. Maneno ya sisi tuliletwa hapa through, tukakuja kuingia shule, and tunakuanga busy. Sometimes mtu anakukall, go to university, uniulizie hiyo nini kwa shule. We don't have time for that. Tukienda university, unaambiwa this university operate with the system. They don't have time with you. So someone yenye wana deal ni through an agent ama agency yenye wana deal nayo maneno yake na university like Flinders. So unapata mtu mashinani anakupigia wasea mtoto wangu anakuja Flinders, unaweza enda kuniulizia hiyo hatuna time. Someone mwenye anaweza kukusaidia mama wao because they have all the information and they have all your documents and they have everything yours. So as another option, we have started a program with Balozi and Janet that recently we visit churches in Kenya. After church service, we have a section of probably encourage and empower people to go various parts of the country in AOB. So last year we visited over 10 to 15 churches. Lakini ukifika kanisa yenye majority of watoto wao wako like in that village, there is a big difference. Ukienda place and nobody ayuko even outside of the country, even everything is different. So we will do more this year, and we humbly requesting that we will work together as a team of our team and your team. Ours ni kufanya those kind of, we need all over. Unajua sahi Australia balozi, sometimes we get accused uko mashinani, hii Australia inakaa ni ya watu wa Eldoret. Inakaa hii kwani mnafanya nini Eldoret peke yenu mnaenda Australia? We need people from Kericho, we need people from Bomet, we need people from Baringo, we need people even from West Pokot, all over. Kila mahali angalau kila mtu akuja Australia, and it is open. So borders is opening. Mekimalizia biikab Eldoret kaokas tarik 15 ngotko tomo itieche sirikwa hotel ketinye logoiwek akobun mama ak timinyi tugul komi olimbo sirikwa hotel. Ngotko metinye form ango nebo lunch, ingian kityo yundok bo sirikwa hotel. Ibotuitosi ak icheket ko ngimi Nakuru, biikab Mogotio, biikab Ravine, biikab angot ak biikab kebeberata oba oratinwek tugul kotokyingei American hotel.
America, kilen America, ma America.
America hotel. Unajua balozi, I've never even gone to this hotel, but it's an opportunity for our people wafike huko. Sangara, biikab Sangara. So we will see the way this event, it will be live stream for our people as well. Wapate that opportunity. Hata kama hauna form ya kukuja Australia, enda Sirikwa hotel. Hata fika tu like mimi sikuwa na form ya kuja Australia, lakini nilifuata mtu nikafika hapo. So wase yenye mnaonanga mumeoshwa mpaka mnastuka, mufike hapo Sirikwa hotel, muende mujisikilie. And I appeal balozi, watu wenye wako, if uko na mtoto ama watu wenye wako Australia, probably you can even talk to your parents, angalau hata pia wafike huko, ama watu from your village wabike tosi fair. Kama utatuambia tu capacity ya watu wanahitajika huko ni watu wangapi, tunaweza fika alafu asubuhi unastuka ni over 2,000 ama 3,000 wameshuka kwa Sirikwa hotel. So asanteni sana.
Kongoi nyeosea ki abwati ale kiyae no kilen social distancing kimuche kobwa tutegen kunotok kimeche kebwatwa kele tiamu yundok. So mabo biikab Eldoret inegei, bo biikab Kericho, chun tugul chun tukche tugul chu, you have to initiate a process. Ki nemeche iwe ko lazima ing'et asikobit iwe, ako ngometinye logoiwek ko ui. Logoiwek ko chu kimwoiwok. We will continue advertising through our programs. We will continue even letting people know on the radios so that they can be able to come. Uyundok, hawkai kasile magimata in pucho ko yecha yogot. So kiago ngo chai chebo sirik kwa ai kasile mewendi buch oye chai buch piro kityo kon gumemeche iwe ibiker ile biik chebendi kou ne tuguk alak ko lazima cham kechereke lazima iker biik alak sinai ile ngot kowendi ini ko kaamuchi awo akine ngot ko kiwo Hosea kobun tulwom ng'etuny imuchi iwe imite Kericho imi Bomet imite Nandi. All these are possible. Imukokse tukyo tugul ko kararan kimeche takemwa kongoi Mama O and your team for being able to do that. This is investing on human capital. Kikwerie ng'omnotet ing'ony biikyo, kikwerie ng'omnotet counties, kikwerie ng'omnotet anan kikwerie somanet ki age tugul. Nekit sikeweke nyekebwa ng'alek chebo let chebo inendet Mama O kokotom keit yotok Hosea akemwa ile kibagenge net supportenech eng program ini ko Optiven kimeche kibwatwa akobo Optiven. Thank you CEO Washuri. Nafikiria tutaona Washuri hapo, alafu tukimalizia dada wetu ataona kama ataenda the top notch ama atakuwa hii. It is good so that when you go to Nairobi before you go to Kirinyaga, at least uko na mahala pa kukaa pale Nairobi through brother George Washuri. Alafu namna hiyo maneno itakuwa namna hiyo. Karibu Hosea.
The fourth level is Foster. Foster is ready to build development. Foster is a property that is ready for you to start construction. We do very nice maram roads. We plant the trees. We put the water tower. We also put a caretaker on site, and everything is ready for you to start construction. And then finally, this is our top of the top, the 5-star. The 5-star is premier, is the top level. And this one, we do cable roads, we do water management through underground culverts, we do underground power, we do fountain for water, we do beautiful and nice permanent gates, we do perimeter wall, and also do install the CCTV, and the whole property is manned by uniformed security. We are calling it the 5-star, the premier. And some of these properties, these 5-star properties, we do a clubhouse and also construct swimming pool. This is the topmost. This particular property, it goes from 5 million for a piece of property that is 50 by 100. Thank you very much. You have an opportunity to make a decision. Do you want 1-star? Do you want 2-star? Do you want 3-star? Do you want 4-star? Or you want 5-star? Some of our customers, they prefer land banking. You go for 1-star. So it all depends on your purposes. If you want ready to build, you go for 4-star. If you want luxury, you go for 5-star. Thank you once more for trusting Optiven, the #1 brand in property development, the #1 brand with our vision of being the champions of socio-economic transformation, inspiring possibilities. God bless you. Follow us on YouTube right here, Optiven Limited. You can also follow us on Facebook, Optiven Limited. We value you. We are at Absa Plaza, 14th floor and 15th floor.
Asante, thank you, Mama O umejionea, so unaweza enda 4-star, 5-star and live in luxury when you come back home, so that when you retire, you can retire, enjoy your retirement and be able to enjoy the work that you're doing. We truly appreciate. We now come back to giving you a chance to give us your last words. Other than that, we thank you so much. We wish you the very best to your family, to options, to continue growing globally. We would love to see you in America. We would love to partner with you and be able to do what we can do. Next week, we are going, the next episode 2 is a wonderful young lady that will be engineer Michelle. She is the first petroleum lady in Kenya to educated in America, and she's doing wonderful job in Africa. She was in the US and decided to go back to Kenya to be able to do petroleum and do great things. So we traverse across the globe, bringing different people and different talents so that we can inspire each one of our people. We believe so many people have been inspired by your story, Mama O. A lot of people will come to Options. We will always recommend Options because they do a great job. There are so many people in Australia. So many people have given testimonies. We've interviewed some of the Option people that came through your program in our program to inspire people. Not only are you inspiring, your students have begun or are beginning to inspire many other people. We thank you and we wish you the very best. Happy New Year, and continue doing great work that you're doing for our people. Big up Eldoret, big up Kericho, big up Olitogolole, Kimejagele Jagobaishe Option, credible company, ye mokchinige paroindo. So we gas ngaleju, tarekta manamut kele jinenyo sirikwa, tarekta manaktasap kele jinenu America, tarekta manaksagol ngimi Nairobi, iwe Nairobi. So bigas ketyo, at keigeri le nene mokchinige. Ngima kwa kiamnyach, osea, ngawe guninyo sokabit kogone ngaleki chevalet. Mama O, we wish you the very best. Thank you so much. Be blessed. Mama O.
Thank you very much, Balozi. First, I would like to thank you. Nawashukuru sana kwa kutualika kwa hii kipindi chenu kama participant number 58. Hiyo hatutasahau. This is a big honor and we feel very humbled to be invited to share with you what we do every day and what we love doing. Just with my team, with me, we are very grateful and we look forward to more and more times like this because knowledge is power. So when you have the knowledge, you can make any decision you have because you have it. Ila kitu ningetaka kuambia wanafunzi wenzetu na wazazi na those people who are watching us, please do not, usijaribu kufanya hii kazi peke yako, tuko hapo. We are here to hold your hand and to take you through the process. Ukisikia, unasikia watu wengine wanasema mtoto wangu anataka kwenda Flinders, anataka kwenda UNISA, utasikia mtu anapigia Hosea ama anapigia kazini yake. Universities, they are very complicated. They have very complicated but very organized systems. So they have a system of how they do things. Hata kama uende uangagonge useme nataka msichana yetu akuje, it takes longer than calling Grace all the way in Nairobi. Now Grace will just write one small email and before you know it, you have the answers to all your questions. So we are the representative of almost all universities in Australia. We work with them, we call each other partners, we represent their programs, we market their, we publicize their logos and their whatever in our websites. We share in this journey together. So we have a big support from the Australian government, from the Australian universities. So it's not just, we don't do it all alone. We do it together with very credible partners, the universities, all these big universities, some of whom are in the top world universities who are in the top 1% or top 3%. And all our universities here in Australia, mostly, majority of them are public universities. Our watu wanatujua by name. Wanajua Mama O by name. They look for me the way I look for them. When we have a problem of a student whose papers are not going quickly, we know which button to touch. You just call. It doesn't matter whether it's a university in Melbourne, whether it's a university in Perth. That is what we do. And they love us and we love them. Just recently, before COVID hit Kenya, in March, we were, February, March, we were in Kenya. We traveled across with them. We took them to our game reserves because at the same time, we want to be the ambassadors for Kenya in what we do. So whenever we have our partners coming to Kenya, we want to show off. Why not come to Kenya even for holidays? So we love traveling with them, showing them things. They came there to recruit international students, but we don't leave the game there. We make sure they interact with, we take them to special places. where we know a lot of them come back with their families. A lot of them talk very highly of Kenya, and we are very, very proud of our country, especially when we deal with other people from this part of the world, and we work together and we value each other. They know each and every of our employees, and they value them because they know they are the gateway through which they can access those students. So whenever you have any issue, please pop to our office or one of our student counselors. We have many. This is just a handful of the ones we chose to come here together tonight. And at the same time, I would want to address those people who already have visas and they are aiming to come to Australia. Please get in touch with our office and look for your flight. Start coming this way. The government of Australia is waiting for you. Different state governments are working together to make sure the international students are given a hero's welcome. This is one country that loves international students. So when they come, they don't just come alone. They need to notify the systems that they are coming, notify your university, notify options. And before you come to Australia, always get in touch with your student counselor to get details, because I met a student last week who did not have a clue of where we are. So our student counselors always give something called pre-departure knowledge. You are supposed to be taken through a pre-departure counseling, unless you don't want it. We have a lot of good information that you need to know before you start your journey to Australia. Australia is a country where international students are valued more than you ever think. Probably you don't know, the government is very keen to look after the international student. During the pandemic, this is one country where the students were given help by the government, including the institution, the universities themselves. We were given even some money through us to share with our students. We participated in various forums to make sure students, they don't go hungry because they lost jobs. And it was actually a beehive of activities to make sure that we help international students, because they have their parents, they are very far away. They can't go to work. Those who work to earn a living, they might sleep hungry. So it's a country where we have a lot of support for international students. So when you come, please note that you have to come and quarantine with the system. The government has already organized that system. You don't have to worry about it. You are picked from the airport straight to your quarantine 5-star hotel or wherever. And after that, you are shown the door to join the others. So it's a very, very nice system to bring you back here. So if you are here, you are listening to us and you have a student visa, please get in touch with whoever was your student counselor or the office nearest you, and they'll guide you on how you can start your journey. Please don't take too long, because laws are changing every day. You never know. The other thing I wanted to mention is in all our events, like the ones coming up on 15th and 17th and 19th of February, they all observe top high quality COVID protocols. We do provide sanitizers. We make sure people are social distanced, and we make sure that we have masks for those who do not have masks, so that at least we can do the best we can to control the spread. Otherwise, with that, I would like to to wish you all a wonderful, wonderful program. This is only a small beginning, or it's a beginning that has blown me away, because honestly, I never thought Hosea behind the scene is doing this incredible job. Hosea, you have all our blessings, you have all our support. You are one of our alumni, like you keep calling yourself. We are so proud of you. And to us, a success story is always our biggest pride. We feel so good when we see our students. They didn't just listen or doubt us. They come and they find, and they find it happen. It happens, and they become part of the success stories. So for you at home, please join the wagon. We would love you to come here. Down Under is the place to be. Please come, and come without wasiwasi. Hapa tuko wengi, uwezi lala njaa. Tuko hapa, tutakushika mkono mpaka uvuke the other side. Na wale wako hapa, tafadhali vuruta huyo rafiki yako, huyo neighbor yako, huyo kazini yako, huyo ndugu yako, muonyeshe kajia, angalau hata yeye ajionee majuu. Because akiwa hapa, umesikia vile Barozi ametuambia, sisi industry yetu ni kubwa kushinda ya kahawa, kushinda ya majani, kushinda ya hata ya utalii, because tunatuma pesa mingi sana, na pesa yetu, let me tell you, it goes straight to the user. It has no points of ati inapotea huko katikati, sijui mtu alienda akanunua nyumba ya gorofa. Hapana, hii pesa inaingia mpaka mashinani. Kama unalipia mtoto shule, inaenda mpaka hiyo shule. So this is one of the monies which I think is does the most. Watch out the amount, how much it achieves is what is most incredible. So I would ask even the leaders, like Barosi said, please support your members of your county, watu wa Bomet, watu wa Kericho, watu wa Uasin Gishu. Tuko pamoja na nyinyi, kujeni, na wengine wengi wako huko Rift Valley. Kujeni tufanye hii kazi pamoja. We are so proud of you guys. You are growing. I don't know. Next time tutapata ule mjumbe wetu tutapeleka Kenya, because we need a diaspora one. I'm sure atatoka that area. Tuko wengi sana hapa. Na on the way I'm seeing things are happening, I don't know which way we are heading. I can only tell you, and Grace can tell you, and Viola can tell you, when you look at the numbers, the people from the Rift Valley, it is shocking. I just wonder. Zamani ilikuwa people from Central nilikuwa naona ni wengi. Sasa walikuwa outshined, hata hawaonekani. Wako lakini huwezi waona wakiwa wengi, because these days, every day we find people from around that region of Kericho. We love Uasin Gishu, that's our county, that's where we are based, and every time we feel good. And next time we come to Kenya, we will make sure I go with my team, or I'll make sure I get in touch with the governor for my county, and I wish him well in the upcoming elections. I hope he wins back his seat, and we continue doing what we do best, and hopefully we catch up with him and do something that can continue to change the horizon of the people in that region. So I love you all. I wish you all the best, and God bless you. Let's see each other. We look forward to welcoming you down under. We look forward to you being part of us. Send your children. Help that person who needs some little help to be pushed to pass this part of the world. Otherwise, you'll be very proud of you. I love you all. God bless you. Kongoi.
Kongoi nye mama. Kagikesu tetutiet ko mi ngolyon ne jam kemwoe kelen return of investment ing chito chi age tugul. Yaani chepkondok che kende investene chito komi kit nekekule return of investment. Ko chang mising, so meit chu kende tutigin iit chetun bwone cheu remittance cho bwone. Ngiit return on investment ko ndakiit nebo mama komangen ale kotya kabisa, lakini ngemakwak chemyach kakikesu tetutiet nebo betutab ra, kimeche kelecho kongoi Optiven, kongoi Tamu Life chai nekakoek sponsor nebo programini, ongetestai ketoret programs chekitinye noto bo kebebertab Kericho, kitoche tot wikino kora kobun kebeberta age mangen ale kingetiono, ngemakwak nemie kongoi.
Balozi, a quick one, Imande, I congratulate our top follower not Bridget from Saudi Arabia, but I'm going to be taking it episode number 1, episode 58. Ago mutai for me sharing and will back count in the Baringo, I attend and you will be team to go. So congratulating.
Kongoi nye Bridget ayabe kimagun jam nyach ye UND arusi ngung inendet koko jam gomi olimba Saudi Arabia. Ago she's relocating back to go and get married in Baringo. We wish you the very best, Bridget Ayabe, in your wedding tomorrow. We will not be there in person, but we will be there through Zoom. Tutafika harusi yako, tutasherekea, tunakutakia mema. So, Mama, we are able to attend weddings, we attend graduations, we attend anything. Hata ile baptism ya watoto pia, we are able to do that through Zoom. And in the villages, we will invite you, Mama uongeleshe watu ya my village. We can be able to arrange so that we are able to talk to and encourage people there. Bridget Ayabe, we wish you the very best. Enjoy your wedding tomorrow. May God continue to bless you, Mama tunakutakia mema. Sisi wote tutakuja options. Mimi na Janet tumekubali tutafika Australia. We will be able to attend. When we come home, Grace, in Nairobi, options tutapitia huko. We will go to Eldoret. Sisi watu wa LD, mimi ni mtu wa Kapsabet. I have to fly to Eldoret before I go to Kapsabet. So tutafika ofisini. And there is a lot more we can learn together and team up to be able to empower and encourage our people. There are so many opportunities out here. We ask you to dream. You know, there is a book I read that says dreaming is free. So, endelea ku dream. In fact, if you are not dreaming, you have a problem. So dreaming is free. And na huko Australia tutafika. Mama tutafika Australia. Be blessed. Asante Hosea.
Asante sana balozi, asante sana watu wote mnaotufuatilia kwa quick update. I'm so grateful for all our alumni for amazing work. We will be having a very big fundraising in May to support our legend, Daktari Joel Kimeta. So far, so good. So anyone mwenye anataka support Pastor Joel Kimeta ni inbox ama atafute balozi kwa upande wa US ama Janet. By December of this year tutaenda kufungua that studio kwa upande wa Kericho, na mama unakaribishwa na timu yako ya Option to be part of the journey to honor our legend mwenye ame struggled for 40 years kujenga that studio, but tumejiambia in this year we will make sure tunamjengea as a team, as a family, tuone kuwa our legend apate studio ili aendelee, na pia anapanga kuja Australia in May kuja kufikisha kwako huko Daktari Joel Kimeta. So asanteni sana watu wote ambao mmefika.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Nee Chitab Kalenjin kochelewan. Nee Chitab Kalenjin ngororiote. Itebelega imilene kotindoni. Kotoi kolega imilangi nekimwachi. Kikimwae en wikit konye ngororira. Nyingonamge Chitab Kalenjin ak kasarta.